All right, if everybody's more or less set, we're gonna get going. Here we. Oh crap! Hey, Internet! My name is Todd, and we're gonna be playing some Dungeons and Dragons tonight. Thanks for joining us live on Twitch, on YouTube. If you happen to catch it on Instagram, I don't think it's out there right now, but you know, I do things. And then, of course, to our lovely, wonderful podcast listeners. Thank you so much for all the love and attention. And if this is your first time by, don't forget to click the button and subscribe and all of that. It really supports us and helps us out. A big shout out to Steve, the other GM in the house, who has kept the ball a-going. And also to Darcy, who is my troubleshooter right now and has a face on them right now that indicates something is wrong. No? Life is good?
There's a lot of background mic on your noise on your mic.
Oh, thank you.
That's what I'm hearing at least.
Yeah,
I missed something saying. I quickly muted you in Discord so I could listen to you only in the stream to see if it was only coming through to us. So,
if it makes you feel any better, I am screwing up the cameras. So that's a definite. There we go. We're back now. We're back. We're good. Or good enough. Close enough for rock and roll, as they like to say. I don't know who they are. So yeah, we're gonna play some D&D. It's been a while. I'm so sorry. I've been away. I've been sick. I'm excited to get back in the game with all you fine folks. And we're gonna do a quick recap. Is it still screwy, Darcy? Should we?
It's weird. I don't know. That's not just me, right?
It is just you. I don't hear it.
It's just
Check
me.
1, 2.
Wow. Okay.
Check 1, 2. Internet. What is happening?
Okay. Ignore me.
Yeah, just ignore. Oh, you know what? You might be getting a bit of echo because I was accidentally doing a thing. Maybe? I don't know. I turned up some. Hopefully I'm not blasting your ears out of your head.
I don't know. Like a fuzz.
Oh, you know what?
Anyway, don't worry about it. We're live.
Yeah,
let's go.
It's as good as it's going to get for now. I'm sorry. We are on episode 32 of our Dungeons & Dragons Homebrew campaign. 32. Thank you. And I'm excited because we are in the lair of a beholder, and this time you're hunting it. And the party's been sent in. There's a massive battle going on above ground. The whole city is getting attacked and potentially wiped out. It is danger zone up top. Some of the team stayed above and left some dragons fighting on your side. The rest of them came down below to hunt and kill the big bad, which is this nasty beholder here. Unfortunately, some of the players couldn't be here tonight, so we'll try to do them justice. Oh, that reminds me, I should probably open Roll20 because that's what we do for visuals sometimes and keeps me on track. So while I do that, let's introduce the players. Let's go around the table and start over here with Matt. Ha! You're up first, if you're there.
So I am playing Balin Ironeater, a dwarven wizard and craftsman, and I joined up with the party when they saved me from the belly of a purple worm. I left my mountain home of Illifarn to search for old dwarven lore and artifacts, and they pulled me out of a sticky situation, so here I am helping him kill a big beholder that's a threat in the world.
Nice. Fantastic. And you've been with us pretty long time, and you were just watched a fireball go off and roast one of the people who was in your employ or a volunteer, one of your minions. Meat shields. I think they're meat shields.
Hireling is the preferred term.
I prefer the term hit point bucket. Yeah. So yes, unfortunately, the Minotaur who was your hireling is no more, but we'll do the best we can. So yes, that is that. Let's keep going around the horn. Gordon, who are you and what do you do?
Hey, I'm Gordon, playing 2 characters tonight. The OG character, Rook, who has snuck down into the lair of the beholder and discovered something where the boulder can see his friends, his spirit friends, and sees him. And I'm also playing Talithar, a Conquest Paladin.
Yeah, I believe the beholder said something to the effect of, "Oh, good," as soon as it spotted you. And of course, there's paladin-ness going on, and you just beat up one of the mid-level baddies who was recharging a Naga, was reforming, and yeah, I don't remember if you ate the fireball as bad as everybody else, but nope.
Not quite as bad, no.
Paladins, man, they just shrug everything. All right, let's keep going around the horn, and we will meet the legend, the one and only Izzle. Bella, tell us who you are.
Hey. Hi, everybody. I'm Bella, and I am playing Isolde as my main character tonight. She is a half-elf blood hunter, and yeah, she's been palling around with her buddy Gek, and not much more about her. And then I'm playing also Frizzle.
Right, Frizzle. It was
who is
a Genasi, I believe.
Fire Genasi.
That's
Yep,
right. I
that's
forgot
her.
about Frizzle. And now Frizzle was not caught in the blast, so you still have Frizzle kicking around. So that's exciting. And
She was caught, but I think she took some damage, but not a lot.
fantastic. All right, and I
know.
also believe, just for the flavor, I believe Isolde is probably shooting some dirty looks over towards the hallway where Rook was disappearing to. Wondering where did he run off to again? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Well, very likely.
I
no,
figured
it's
as
very
much.
likely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's no love lost there. That's all.
No Rook Zone.
I love that T-shirt. All right, and we'll keep going around. Darcy, who are you playing?
Hi everyone, I'm Darcy. You can find me at Darcy Bits. I'm playing Shu, one of the aforementioned hirelings, who little pirate town. The party was like gonna get a bunch of you to come help us fight a big old monster. And she was like, "I'm a sea monster hunter." I didn't say that right. I'm a monster hunter. That's the one. Yeah, I'll join. And now they're here staring down a beholder and remember all the tips and tricks for fighting beholders. Because, it's kind
Is
of their
there
jam.
tips and
Not
tricks for
terribly
fighting beholders? I don't know if.
Well,
if-
we'll have to see. I'm going to definitely see if I can convince you to let me roll on tips and tricks when we get to the actual action.
roll
So.
for tips and tricks. I kind of like that.
Look, I got
actually.
expertise on that roll. Let's do it, right?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You know what? Let's start it
I
off.
think it's like
Let's-
expertise with advantage or something, because it's like favored
You know what?
type and then also favored terrain is like, yeah, it's a whole thing.
I think
Anyway.
that tonight we should start with a tips and tricks roll. I am down with that. I am down to clown with that. So as soon as we're done meeting the rest of the crew, get your D20, dust it off. It's been a while, and we'll see how you roll for trickiness. All right, and I get to do a secret roll in the background.
Yeah. Half range, half rogue. Extra tricky. The trickiest class.
Tricky, tricky, tricky. Oh god, I got that song in my head now that I can't play. All right, let's keep going around the horn, and thank you, Timely,
Tricky
for
to
joining
rock
us.
and roll.
I hope you are there, and I hope you are well. We're just going around the horn. Let's meet Steve. I don't know why I said that like I've got a hernia.
Hi.
Hola.
I am Steve, and my characters, if I remember correctly, Gex Techford. He's still there.
Still
And then,
alive.
a character whose name is Bear, who looks like a bear, who is a bugbear, who is a barbarian totem bear.
A
that's
bear
him.
with the bear. A bear with a bear.
Yeah. So
And wait, is he naked? I'm just wondering if he's got the full trifecta going on, or
he's naked the same way Chewbacca is naked. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I mean,
A
I
single
don't know.
ammo belt across his chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you need. What else do you need that for? Fur does the trick, keeps you warm, clean.
Doesn't stop the dangle. I'm just saying. I'm
Yeah.
surprised Star Wars got away with the rating they did, because that was a bunch of gorilla dick. You just didn't know it. Sorry.
Todd,
This is,
you're very obsessed with that.
I mean,
No, check out the Shadowruns. They were cool.
They are. They're
we
fun.
did wrap up. We did wrap up the season, although Todd hasn't streamed that one yet. You should watch it because
I
there's
haven't
a
even
death
watched
scene.
it.
Yeah,
What?
there's a death scene, and it's an awesome death scene.
Awesome. Well,
We
spoiler.
all, yeah.
All right, I will have to go and watch and stream that. So I'll be doing that on the channel a little bit later on. But tonight we have one more person to meet, and then we're diving in. I believe Timely is there. Is that Timely? You are muted if you are speaking. There is someone there. It's a mystery. Oh, typing. All right, typing. Yes, mic not working. So this. Okay, well, we'll hopefully get that fixed in the next little bit. But see what we can do about that. Oh, interesting. I can actually see the text arrive on stream, and I did not set that up. I have no idea how that happened. But anyway, bank error in my favor. I am down with this. So tonight we're going to be figuring out what happens maybe in the finale, maybe working towards, I don't know, if there's a big bad dangling like 40 feet away from you in a cavern. Let's see what happens. So we'll be right back after this and begin. All right. So, you are underground, as I mentioned before. There's a battle raging above. You're in a twisting cavern, part of it refined and worked, parts of it rough-hewn, and even other sections, as you now have gone through a secret door leading deeper into the complex underneath the streets of Tazvrel. You find yourselves in a room, a rough-hewn. Well, the party's a little bit split right now. About 4 of you are just mopping up with a naga in one room where it had been kind of nesting away, kind of trying to reform itself, the guardian protector of this ruin for centuries. The rest of you are kind of in the hallway, and then some of you are further down in a rough stone cavern beneath this section through a secret door that I believe it was Isolde or Rook found it. I forget. One of them found it and snuck below a pile of corpses collected from the various unfortunate citizens of Tazvrel. In particular, Rook spotted some belongings long lost for friends of theirs that have been haunting Rook in every waking hour. And for a creature that doesn't sleep, that's all the hours. You see the loot of your friend Angel. You see the robes and a shattered quarterstaff of your mage friend Cat. There is this sense of sadness, but also it was a mystery as to where their bodies had gone. And whatever your reaction to that, seeing them caught you a bit off guard, I think. And you're caught in the open for just a moment too long, which is saying something for a rogue of your quality. Rook, your head was up as the beholder turned around, sensing a shift in the movement, or the shift in the air from the open door, or the massive fireball that went off one flight up. Whatever it was, the beholder has spun around, is looking at you in particular. Everyone else still appears to be well hidden. Beholder had been kind of rooting through these bodies and belongings, and the room is also filled with various items of treasure and garbage. It's just a festooned pile of just terrible, almost hoarder level things just piling up and around this cavern. You can also sense further back there is a blackness behind the beholder in the cavern that implies perhaps an opening or two towards the back. Let's start today with Rook. What do you want to do?
Well, I noticed that he noticed me.
I noticed you noticing me.
I noticed you noticed me. And I don't really feel like it's the right time or place for a dialogue between us, so I'm gonna run.
All right. So go ahead and I'm gonna get you to do either acrobatics or athletics as your kind of dodginess.
I'm gonna do acrobatics.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna do acrobatics. Yes.
All right. Fine.
Okay. So I'm gonna roll or take 10. Let's see which is higher. And I'm even gonna use knowledge from a past life. I'm gonna take 10.
All right. So
I'm gonna take 1d6 plus 10 plus. Ooh, and my acrobatics. 13.
all right. So not your best, most stealthy or speedy exits, but you turn and stumble. You can go ahead and move yourself, your movement. Coming up next, Talithar, who's in the other room. I'm working off a previous order that I wrote down. See, I wrote things down. I just want to pause for a minute and let that sink in. It means all of y'all are in trouble now. Stuff down. All right.
Okay, so Rook is running. Oh, it's like snapping around here. He's basically running to kind of get out of line of sight. And then he's gonna bonus action hide.
Okay. So
again,
you go scrambling up those steps, and the beholder kind of hisses eagerly and calls out after you. Wait. We have so much to talk about.
Can't talk too busy. flying up the steps and trying in a way so that like I don't give away my other compatriots, right? So I know that they're still hiding down there, and more are on the way. So yeah.
All right, Shu. I'm not actually going by order here because I'm going to go with who's in the room and saw this. Shu and Gex. What do you do?
Well, I see that you're muted, so I'm going to jump in first. As Shu witnesses this beaver, and you can decide whether or not they've actually like fought beholders before. That's kind of a rare thing. It's easy to like be like, oh yes, everyone knows every monster because we as players do. But you know, maybe they didn't. But they're a monster hunter. They've at very least know about them and have researched such things. A very studied individual when it comes to this kind of thing.
Better. Thank you for reminding me. You need to roll your I know some.
Yeah. So they are hunkered down. They're trying to they're sort of next to this pile of dead bodies, which should mask their smell. They're trying to actually block line of sight as best as they can because they can't rely on shadows because they know it has dark vision. Like this kind of stuff is just like, all right, they know how to stay hidden, which they already have, passed a stealth check back in however many weeks ago that was. But they're studying it and they're going, okay, can I find the pivotal weak spots in this, right? It's really easy to be like, just shoot in the eye. That's clearly the weak spot, but it's not that simple, right? You got to find the like exact, specific, precise location to strike that will be able to be that chink in the armor and hit a pivotal weak point, some sort of artery or something. So they're racking the brain for like literally like anatomy knowledge on a beholder. Like, how do you actually kill one? Which I'm not exactly sure what skill. That sounds like medicine weirdly, which would be fine for them. They could roll. They have like all the knowledge skills, right? This is their jam. They're not a dex-based rogue or ranger, because of course it's one of my characters. Why would they be? They're an intelligence-based one. So they got Arcana or Nature or survival or investigation or medicine or whatever you want, right? But they'd be rolling, because this is their favored terrain, and the favorite terrain being Underdark and Beholders being native to the Underdarks, I think it's relevant. I get to use my favorite terrain bonus, which would give me expertise on the roll. And then because they are aberrations, which is one of their favorite enemies, they would also get advantage. So they're rolling at plus 11 with advantage, if that all sounds good to you.
That all tracks 100%.
Great. So I'm just gonna roll it, and you can add that's a 21, which is with advantage. Sorry, that's better. 27.
All right. So here's a quick flash of like all these thoughts are going through your head about what you know about these creatures, and the first thing that comes to mind is an old teacher of yours, somebody who trained you rather. Was basically like
on the Titan's Crucible.
On the Titan's Crucible, and he's like, "Yeah,
the ship I served on.
Beholders don't actually have weaknesses per se, but here's the thing: if you take them unaware, you're gonna stand a little longer. If you manage to somehow the thing about beholders is they're greedy, and they don't trust anything else. Can't control it, they don't trust it. And if they feel jealous or paranoid, they're gonna put an end to anything that could be a potential threat for them.
What about the stock, though? Got to be a way of severing some kind of important tendon?
Oh, well, yeah, you could do that, but usually you don't live very long.
Yeah.
I mean, go for it, but...
It's our job to live longer than them, right?
Speaking of live long, surprisingly, most beholders don't. Compared to some of the nasty creatures out there, they're relatively short-lived. 80 years seems to be an average beholder. However, there's rumors some of them can live a little longer, be a lot more powerful. See one that looks really old, you're in trouble.
Or they're about to die. Yeah, maybe to wait for a heart attack. Do they have hearts?
I don't think they do. Or if they do, it's twisted, rotten. Hard to say.
Well, everything works somehow. Figure out. I'm sure we'll be able to take it apart.
You'll want to manage to survive dissection. You might make a name for yourself. Slaps you on the shoulder, finishes up the tattoo they're giving you.
Nice.
Sends you on your way. Cut back to this. Meanwhile, Gex, what the heck are you doing?
Well, since he's kind of in there pretty much by himself, he's gonna stay where he is and cast invisibility on himself. Because of course.
Hey, if you got the option to do it. I'm going to make you do I'm assuming you're not going to stand up and be all like, magical words, right? You're gonna try to.
Yeah.
Hey, you! I'm casting invisibility here. Hey!
Hey, yo! I'm walking.
I mean,
I'm casting here.
He could probably do it quietly. He is rather stealthy, I would suggest. I could roll for that if it helps you feel better.
Yeah, let's roll for stealthiness. I'm gonna say because there is a verbal component to this, and you're trying not to be noticed. I'm gonna say you're at disadvantage to do this as quietly as you need to.
So it's a 12 with
Okay.
disadvantage.
Let's see. I don't have my dice appearing here. Theater of the mind. Beholder's head snaps and tracks as Rook takes off up the stairs, and you're in that eye line. The boulder that you're scooted just behind is right next to said stairs, and Rook just took off from basically where you're huddled, and you're just whispering as quietly as you can the incantation, sweat beading on your forehead. And the spell goes off and you disappear from sight. It's holding your breath. And we'll come back to what happens next. Second. Shu, I want you to do a perception check.
Oh, sure.
Previous was a
is
knowledge
the environment
thing.
giving me...
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Knowledge about creatures is advantage if you have appropriate favor, but not about the terrain, or use of your senses in the terrain, such as perception, I think should give me the expertise. So that's, I believe it's also the plus 11. Yeah, so that would be a 23.
Nice. All right, so you are kind of secreted away from where Rook was, a little bit opposite of the doorway entry from where Gex is currently hiding. As you look and the beholder begins to shift to track where Rook went, you get a better look at this thing. Is it the flickering light, your eyes slightly adjusting to this, the flickering light coming from the open doorway at the top of the rough-hewn stairs. In the flickering light, you see pale gray. I think this is the first time Shu has seen this beholder. Shu was not part of the earlier beholder fight. Everyone else here is familiar with what this looks like, but this is Shu's first time as a knowledgeable monster hunter.
Mm-hmm.
This, you've seen drawings, maybe you've even seen a beholder before. I don't know. I'll leave that up to you. This one looks sallow and gray, and the skin looks thin like crepe paper, stretched to like an old man's hands, where you can see every vein, every tendon, every sinew. This beholder looks old. Very old.
Is it the kind of old that reads as undead, or is that something I can't know?
It's not undead. It is still alive.
I can identify that.
Definitely see that. It's got the pulsing of its. You probably do confirm that it's got a heart, because it's got all these veins, and you can practically see the blood flow of like the varicose veins on the return. This thing is very old. It's very large for a beholder as well. It's been around for a long time. A couple of its eyes are somewhat clouded over with partial cataracts, which may or may not lead to an advantage, but the overall message is this thing is very old. It's probably pretty powerful, even though it does seem somewhat weakened in its physical state.
Right, yes. Can I know of this specific beholder with a history check considering its age?
What was your score again?
Like
29?
their legend. I rolled a 27 before on like whatever check that was supposed to be.
You've heard rumors of old beholders before, and you've heard the name of this one before, probably mentioned by one of the party members, Cathvaran.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that you have specifically heard of this one, but there are a handful of really elder orb beholders that are tougher magically, but they're physically beginning to fail.
Cool. But there's not like specific like legends of like, oh, you gotta watch out for Truthix or whatever their name was.
No, this one.
Okay,
no, I mean like you've heard of Xanathar. You've heard of a bunch of them, but this one's name isn't familiar. But it's in a category of creature that seems aged and failing, and you don't know if beholders lose themselves to their nightmares, which then spawn into reality and eat them. Usually they die by that time.
Right.
So whatever this thing is doing has managed, I don't know if it's like oil of Olay, keeping it alive, what's going on there, but it is, whatever its routine is going, is keeping it going beyond what the average beholder is known to do.
All right, that's a magic person thing. That's someone else's wheelhouse. I'll have to tell someone about that later. All right,
it's an oldie and not a goodie. Is the
okay?
Yeah, it seems a little lurchy in its movements. All right, let's jump back. Let's go to the top of the stairs. Elias is right at the top of the stairs and sees Rook both eyes. Oh, what is it?
I probably would have said, like, as I was running by the others, like, hold it down there. And, like,
he steps back away, kind of faltering his confidence, still trying to build up. Jalen, I believe, was Timolee's particular.
No, that was. No, Jalen was Brandon's.
Oh, okay. So Jalen kind of readies their weapons, like, this is why we came, right? It's ready to go down the stairs, but kind of takes the cue. Graham and Hilda are both kind of readying themselves as Rook comes tearing back up. Meanwhile, in the other room, the smoke is still settling. You check the body of Asterion, who has fallen, smoldering and no longer breathing. Dead and gone. So unless somebody has resurrection magics, that Minotaur swung his last axe, I'm afraid. Balin is old Talithar. You hear some muttering in the hall, the word beholder, but that's about it. What do you want to do? You're in the room with the and Cranky in the room with the fallen Naga.
Oh dear, a beholder on the way. I'm in rough shape because I got some potions left. I don't know if anybody's got any healing magic. I don't suppose so.
I have a little bit of reserve, but not much. I suggest you use your potion for now.
All ahead then.
Yeah, I'll use my potion too.
Yeah, I'm drinking all my potions. I got 12.
That ozone stench of left behind in the room of the fireball, just having incinerated parts, leaving ash and dust all around the room, and coughing. Chug back some potions and try to. It was the kind of explosion that would, if it weren't for the magical flames and the torches, would have put the sconces out, but they're still burning. Frizzle looks around the corner and sees all of you just looking like something out of a Warner Brothers cartoon, just covered in soot. And just, what does Frizzle say or do?
She's just like looking around, a little freaked out by this all, and she's like, okay, let's go in this other room with everybody else. Whoop. I can't. Oh shit! I lost her.
Oh, that's
shoot.
okay. Yeah, the map
no.
is kind of annoying in its thing. She runs into a wall, and actually, this is a good time to start that. Sure, why not? Dexterity saving throw, please, Frizzle.
Okay. What are we starting?
That's what we're going to find out.
8.
Oh, I think I heard it.
Oh, we can hear you now, Timley.
Hey, it's Bert.
Yay, welcome to the stream.
Is Isolde within 10 feet of me?
Not at the moment, unfortunately.
Okay.
Probably was
there-
10 feet.
right?
When Frizzle went running up the hallway, did not get as stumbled, too much smoke in your eyes or something, and you slip and bump against a wall and scrape against the side. What was your roll there, Bella?
8.
Okay,
But
so
does she get any bonuses from being within 10 feet of me?
even still, even with a +4, that's only going to be a 12. So I'm going to begin this. Let's begin.
You failed, but
Yeah,
hopefully
you
not harder.
Okay, so when you lean against the wall, something weird happens. You're go to put your hand on it, and the whole thing just moves away. You can feel it touch, but it provides literally no resistance as your hand leans against it. And then something hits you in the shins as the whole wall begins this pivot motion. And you just kind of lose your balance for a second. And as it kind of gets to a certain angle, it stops. And then a bunch of iron and stone balls fall out of the ceiling, like bowling ball kind of thing, come rolling down the wall and clobber you in the shoulder. They clobber you in the knee, in the hip as it falls down. You try to roll away, but unfortunately, you're going to end up taking a little bit of bludgeoning damage from a trap that you just set off. You're going to be taking 9 points of bludgeoning damage there, Frizzle. There's a second where you kind of pull yourself back off the wall and it slips back into its vertical position, and there's just a couple of these more or less round stones or iron things on the ground that had clobbered you, kind of rubbing sore spots.
I would assume that because she probably screamed out quite loudly, because that probably hurt. And everybody probably hears that.
Oh yeah, Elias and Rook and all of them definitely hear. The rest of you in that other room, are you going to be staying in that room or joining the hall, or what's the plan?
I think Tyler, after chugging a potion, is going to go into the hall because especially if he heard the whisper beholder, and he's going to start making his way back.
Sure thing. All right, so you can just spend your whole time doing that. Cranky, do a perception check for me. Balin, go ahead.
Could I just check if the Naga's got anything useful on him real quick before I go join everyone else in the hallway?
Sure thing. Do an investigation check for me.
22.
Okay. I'm going to get you to do... Hold on, I got to do a quick count. I'm going to get you to roll a d12, please.
What is it? 7.
Okay, you lucky bastard. I'm going to say roll a d8 for me now. There's a point to this. 6. Okay. All right. So you're about to leave when you see, kind of tucked in behind the Naga on a shelf in a place of honor, you see a glint of metal. You manage to spot a weapon gleaming there in the dark. And now you are a craftsman. You recognize good work. This is great work. Not just good work, great work. This is a magical weapon You spend a few seconds and you raise it up. And not only, I'm going to give you this for free because you are who you are. This is, you immediately recognize the runes carved into this. It is a weapon of warning. It is a +1 magical item. Advantage on initiative, and you cannot be surprised. I do need an idea, and I'm going to say the first person to think of what kind of weapon it is gets the thing or internet. Go!
Boomerang.
Boomerang, yeah, great.
I was gonna say carrot because I watched the
most
movie
magical
the other day.
boomerang.
Magical boomerang. All right, it's just up on the wall like a decoration hung on 2 nails, and you're just like, you take it down. You've got a weapon of warning. It's a boomerang, and that's why you're happy that you pick it up. It does take attunement, but you can use it if you want to, or give it to somebody else.
I'm not gonna be able to throw a boomerang with 8 dexterity, so I'll say, hey, who needs advantage on initiative? This is a boomerang of warning. It'll help you anticipate danger, know when your enemies are nearby.
I don't think anyone is going to be able to talk from the other area, though, right? Like, stuff's getting hot.
Yeah, I'd assume just whoever's in the hallway there, whoever's with us with the Naga and in the hallway up there.
So Cranky and Isolde are right there.
Yeah.
I feel like this is most
I
useful
don't-
for Isolde as the ranger.
Yeah. I mean, I have one more slot. I could technically do it.
Honestly, Balin, I think you should take
it.
it and just argue that you get to use strength because you have to throw it really hard. It's like a throwing axe.
Oh,
You can use
Balin.
strength or dexterity.
I'd allow that.
Yeah,
If
all
you
right.
want.
All right,
Yeah,
then.
half
Well,
of it.
a boomerang feels like a very hill giant thing, or sorry, a very hill dwarf thing. Yeah.
It's a little bit like a hand axe. Like a hand axe
Yeah,
without a
okay.
handle.
Right.
I'd
well,
accept that.
I guess I've got a funky boomerang then. That gives me
All right.
spidey sense. I'll
It's
tuck
just-
that in my
Yeah,
belt.
all the time. Can you
It's-
imagine that?
It gives you a tingle. Sorry about the bad Australian accent, all of our Australian viewers. I appreciate your hate mail. You can send it to @SideQuestLive for my terrible... And I can only ever get into accents with a Q word, so I'm going to be really stereotypical and say, good eye, mate. Anyway, that's all I got. I'm not going to do it now. So, anywho, you gather yourselves up, having found a few things. Cranky, you rolled a perception. What did you get there?
24.
24. I'm going to get you to roll a d12, sir. The bear
11.
knows. 11. You lucky bastard. Okay, roll a d8. Ignore a 6.
A D8?
Yep.
5.
Huh. It's not... Actually, yes, it is on the Naga with the humanoid body. The upper part of it. With the arms that are so like a regular person, but a little bit larger. See these circlets around the arm. Both wrists. Second. You bend down and they're unharmed, and that's probably the thing that gives you the hint, is everything else in this room got burnt, at least a little bit. But these circlets are, other than a little bit of soot on them, completely unsinged. Probably magical. Everybody else is just bailing on the room. Do you want to grab him or stay put?
Sure, he'll grab him as he walks out
Sure. They're 2
into the
bracers.
dark.
You're not entirely certain what they do. You can put them on if you want to, or you can give them to somebody else to figure out what the heck it is.
Yeah, I'll just put him in his sack for now.
Okay. All right. Join the rest out in the hall. You are all gathered out there, and you can hear down below. There shifts slightly forward, its eyes searching around. Shu, from where you're sitting, you can't see Gex anymore. However, as the beholder kind of nears, you see just Gex's foot for a second. And then as it shifts away again, the foot disappears. And you're like, you know what that is, being a monster hunter with the anti-magic cone, but you don't think Gex seems to know. So I don't know how invisibility will help in a moment. The beholder, meanwhile, is calling out, dead one, come back. Dead one.
If I have line of... Sorry.
Go ahead.
If I have line of sight to Gex, like I was able to see his foot, I'll attempt to sign in Thieves' Cant at him. I don't know whether or not he's looking at me, right? I just saw a spare foot, but I'll at least give it a fair shake.
Sure thing. What was your... Well, you can do a stealth check retroactively. I forget what it was. So and Gex, go ahead and do a perception check.
So wait, what does this stealth represent? Is this me not getting seen while trying to gesture? Because that's why I'm not yelling.
This is actually
right?
the opposite.
So
this is the opposite. This is how good a stealth you did, because Gex has to beat that to see the hand sign.
Okay, I was thinking that the angle would make it so that I was hit from the beholder, but not from Gex. But that's fair either
You're
way.
really
okay
tucked in, so you're probably okay.
Yep. No,
for the moment.
that's fair. I am okay with rolling this. Just let me double check my stats because I have it on here, not on there, because this is an extra character that doesn't have a character sheet in Roll20.
Sorry.
That's fine. It's plus 10. That's only 16.
Ooh. Gex, did you beat a 16?
Yeah, he got a 17, sorry.
All right,
Type
you
in something.
see Shu tucked in this little corner of like stone outcropping, kind of blocking them from the beholder's vantage point. But you can see Shu. And you're sitting there just hoping that it didn't notice your invisibility spell. You can see Shu sign. What did you sign there, Shu?
Probably it translates to the mark has spotted you or something, right? Like that would be what the Thieves' Cant. That's what it would be in Thieves' Cant, right? Yeah. The mark is onto you, something like that.
But it's all Thieves' Canty, so it's like the dingo ate your baby, or like some kind of.
Well, I mean, I'm signing it. I'm signing it.
That's
so
fair.
The Thieves' Cant is.
I can see your testes. That's probably what it is.
That guy can see you.
Nice. Yeah, that was perfect. So you know that you can be seen, Gex. Or oddly enough, you look down, your foot is gone right now, and then the beholder shifts slightly, and you see your foot come back as the spell just melts away in front of its main central eye.
So it just dispelled. It dispelled my invisibility.
Within its immediate line of sight, your spell ceases to function. If it's
like a suppression, yeah,
it's just a suppression. So your spell isn't gone. If you're not in its line of sight, you are invisible. But if you're in its line of sight,
can I do an insight check to see if it's the invisibility spell or magic that it's seeing through? Like, I want to know specifically, is it that spell, or is it...
I'm going to let you do an Arcana check, actually. Or either Arcana or maybe a History.
Okay, whatever roll.
Yeah.
Remembering the last time you fought them and seeing magical effects disappear in front of their eye check.
Yeah. 15. Let's see. That's enough.
15 is enough to know, like, people talk about how beholders apparently dampen magic in front of them.
Yeah.
Only from this big central eye. You know that much. And you've faced a beholder before, so you definitely know.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, well, his purpose in doing it was just for lack of something else.
Dead one. The beholder speaks and its voice is rattling the cave. It's so loud. Sorry, go ahead, Steve.
So can I be physically, I'm physically behind this rock?
You are. You're tucked right in. And so you're as good as it's going to get at the moment.
Yeah, so while physically behind the rock, he's going to cast another spell. He's gonna cast Disguise Self. Look exactly like Rook.
Oh.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right then. All right, so you cast it, and underneath your invisibility is still up unless you want to drop it.
Nope.
You now look just like your undying friend over there, your friend Rook. Okay, cool. We'll see how that plays out. The call of the beholder is easily heard up top, and in fact, the whole hallway up top vibrates, and the whole place, the dust is lifting off the ground and everything. You can hear some screams back towards the prison area through a closed door you've got there. It seems to be waiting on Rook to come back. Anybody else going to do anything?
Is it now
into
open?
the room.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, you can jump in at any point. I can hear you.
Go ahead, Bella.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Isolde is going to kind of stealthily go toward the room where she hears Gex, or heard Gex last.
You see
And
Rook come
try
out,
to
and you're like,
sneak
where's? And you hear him calling for the dead one. You only know one dead guy. Undying guy. That is probably
I don't think
Rook.
we know that, do we?
He kind of admitted that he doesn't breathe when you... He tends to avoid blinking for long periods of time. Doesn't always breathe when people are watching, unless you're really making a concerted effort to do that. There's something off about him, unhaunting, unsettling,
Sure.
if you spend enough time with him. And besides which, Isolde, of all of you, has been eyeballing him. It's like that kid in middle school that you just hated. And you're just like, I'm going to find the fault with that one. So I would say Isolde's probably picked up on it. Maybe not the rest of the people.
Sure.
Let the dice tell the deal. Isolde, retroactive
By the
insight
way,
check.
I also rolled a 20 on my stealth.
Nice. All right. So you are beginning to make your way towards the loud, angry beholder. Go ahead.
13 on insight.
Okay, you don't know who the dead one is, but you know Gex was down there, and Rook came scrambling back out from down there. So you're going down?
By the way, my passive insight is 15. Don't know if that
Okay.
matters.
I'm going to say maybe not in this case. So
Okay.
I retcon that. You don't know that Rook is dead.
I think at this point, Talithar, like Rook is actually, he's hidden, but he hears it, and he's basically motioning to the others, like let's do this. Talithar is going to look at the others. He's not going to say a word, but he's got his sword ready, and he's like nodding, like, and pointing with the sword. Let's go, and Talithar is going to lead the way down.
Sure thing.
I follow Talithar.
All right, go ahead and march yourselves on down that hallway in the order you want to be. If you need help moving, let me know.
I don't know who wants to be after Talithar.
With what's happened so far, especially with Gex casting another spell and everything, I think I have a couple mechanical things. Like I've been rolling knowledge and stuff, but I got a couple mechanical things in my kit that lets me just sort of buff myself preemptive to combat. So I'd like to sort of establish those.
Sure thing.
The Ranger Monster Slayer archetype gives me Monster's Prey. So in my studying of them before, I didn't find any specific things if I hit here, I'll be able to mark damage on a optical artery, and then I can actually sever that if I do enough damage or anything, which is sort of what I was looking for. But
unfortunately, beholders
instead,
don't have much in the way of weaknesses other than their
no,
personality.
I get it. Like, obviously, I wasn't looking for like mechanically, like they're weak to fire. Like, no, I'm not. That's baby stuff. But you know, so instead, I'm basically going to sort of turn that action into Slayer's Prey, which is a bonus action. I can buff myself against one target, like lasting until the next time I take a short rest. I'm just like, that's the one I'm killing. I don't care about anyone else. I am ready. And I've like, you know, Rolodexed my knowledge of this thing, and I'm ready to like utilize all knowledge.
Absolutely. I love the idea of Shu with a Rolodex in the beholder lair.
In my mind.
Any last preps as people go, line it up, and then I'll get you to call out your order.
And then I have a second bonus action, which would have taken 2 turns to do, but like there's been a few time here.
Yeah, there's been a few.
And so the second one is it's the Inquisitive. Yes, my rogue subclass, which is insightful fighting. As a bonus action, you may make an insight versus your target's deception, and then you don't need the normal conditions for sneak attack to be able to sneak attack if you succeed.
All right.
So I need
go ahead and roll that.
All right. So my insight didn't roll very well. I got a +11.
Oh, I am rolling trash.
Of the normal
absolute garbage tonight. You know what? I'm gonna retire those dice. I'm gonna grab the dice that I bought in France. Nice new orange D20. We'll see. Well, next roll, we'll break that out and see what that becomes. So even
so this bubble lasts for a minute. So this is something that like who is ready to start fighting this thing. It only lasts for a minute, so they're not dawdling at this point.
All right, shoes all rocket, ready to roll.
Tell you.
Yeah, I've got like my bow ready, primed up. Yeah.
What's that, Steve?
All right.
Sorry, it's impossible to interrupt online. No, you just have to speak in French when you use those dice. You have to read the numbers in French.
Fair enough. I can do that. I think I can count 1 to 20. All right. So
Okay. I think Hilda in the corner here is also going to cast Beacon of Hope. Should be able to
nice.
There
was a call for some healing before as well. Heard that.
So for each target has
healing, Balin's at 33 health.
Well, yes. So any target within this range will gain an advantage on Wisdom saving throws and Death saving throws, and also regains the maximum number of hit points possible from any healing.
Oh, okay.
Nice. All right, the beacon is up. The beacon has been lit. As Hilda, I don't know what that looks like when you activate this.
I like to imagine it's like a nice golden burst, and then it kind of breaks into little sparkly golden particles.
Nice. Bursting out from you.
Everybody's
and catching everybody within 30 feet, which I think leaves out Shu.
Yeah.
Gex is just in range. And Talithar, this happened just before you went down, let's say.
Oh, I'm sorry, Shu.
Sure, thanks.
So Shu does
otherwise
not
it'd be awkward if he's running.
Yeah, everybody else is buffed. All right, nice. Let's get some marching order down there. We got Talithar leading the way. Who's after Talithar?
I'd say one quick thing. Before I left the room, I would just like, say a quick little prayer for Asterion to the dwarven gods and whatnot, you know, carry his soul to the afterlife safely. And I would also let the party know that this narrow staircase we're heading down to where the beholder is, you know, if we get in trouble, I can easily collapse the ceiling on this and kind of, you know, buy us a bit of time perhaps. So that's just so you know, for like an escape option, I can do that.
Elias kind of looks over towards you. He's like, I like your optimism. You're thinking that we're gonna be getting out of this.
Well, hopefully at least one of us is. We got to take care of this beholder somehow.
Right after you. Elias is not gonna go next. Who's then? We got Talithar. Does Balin going down? Is that the plan?
He's
You know what? Balin's feeling
sold
brave. He'll
Will.
go down after, sure.
I'm
After Istil
apparently
done.
drawing. There we go. All right. So
I can't
Balin's in behind.
see Talithar, and I
Talithar's
can't
already
see
down.
the
I'm already
Talithar
down.
I
is
can't
already
see the map at all.
Really weird.
Just
Yeah,
move, just
my
move
map
up.
just went white.
Oh,
Nope.
I'm
Sometimes-
reloading it, but
It's way too large of a resolution map. It could really have been compressed. So
Oops.
anyway,
I'm not surprised
Next
that it's
time.
East
struggling.
Sold would
Next campaign, I'll
definitely
do
go in behind. I can't see where he is, but she would be behind him.
All right. So you'll be right after Balin. I think Jalen and Elias are gonna kind of stumble down next. Who's after that? We got Frizzle, we got Cranky, we got Rook, and Graham.
Cranky would actually just go full speed and pass everyone if at all possible. Not be polite about it either.
It's getting really crowded there, so you're like you literally shove Elias out of the way and you get into the middle of the pack, but unfortunately the hallway or the stairs down are so narrow and twisty you can't actually press your way through very easily at this point. So I'm going to say with your movement you get just in behind Jalen, you split Jalen and Elias. Then I guess Frizzle or Rook, who wants next?
He gets there too, he's like literally impatiently like, using his snout to like try to like get the fuck out of my way kind of thing.
Yeah. And Jalen's like, I'm going as fast as I can. Readying their weapons. And then Graham and Hilda bringing up the rear.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Can I suggest that everyone in that like line just automatically get descending initiative? Because this is why D&D is actually bad at dungeon crawls. It's because you roll initiative after doing this, and the guy in the back's like, well, I just stay here, so let's...
Yeah, I think in this case we will do that, and then we will re-roll if we need to, but let me worry about that. So, then Cranky, then Elias, then we got Rook, we got Frizzle, Frizz, and then we got Graham and Hilda. All right, top of the order. As you come down, the beholder sees this glowing, like, not subtle paladin come marching down through the gloom. The blade out, armor glinting, the mage armor, the shield, everything all set. I think you carry a shield, right?
yeah. I have a new one, actually.
Oh, that's right. And so the beholder sees you and says, "You're not the one I was asking for. What you'll do? Come."
Remember me? Round 2. And I guess we're rolling for initiative.
Yeah. So go ahead. I'm gonna say Balin.
Mm-hmm.
You're holding your one weapon, and at your belt where you tuck this weapon of warning, it begins to vibrate against your hip. You're like, whoa, that's a new sensation. As you're like, what's going on? And those stones all just kind of momentarily like pulse for a second as this beholder has been waiting, hoping that something comes down. So as we're going to do one quick thing off the top. Just one quick thing. I'm going to need, just for the hell of it, I'm going to say everybody to do a saving throw for me. You get double paladin bonus. Don't worry, you're all within 10 feet of somebody. I'm going to say everybody gets +4. You're a little strung out to get the +8. So you can get +4 on your saves. Let me just look up what kind of save it is again. Go. It It is a dexterity saving throw.
Oh.
And I'm going to say,
Should
given
I make one
the...
as Shu?
Pardon?
Should I make one as Shu? Sorry to interrupt. Just
Yeah, the whole room begins to just be affected by this thing. As the beholder, one of the eye stalks flickers, and you see this paper go flare behind it, and the beholder smiles as soon as it sees Talithar, and you get yourself ready. Everybody, dex save results, go. Ooh,
17.
nice. That's a pass.
Oh, thank goodness.
10 for Frizzle.
Frizzle fails. Isolde passes with a 17.
21. 21.
Oh, 21.
20.
Yeah, that's a definite pass. The
20 and
first roll, 20 and 20. Sorry,
14.
14
20 for Rook and
Okay,
for Talithar.
okay. So Talithar fails by 1, but Rook succeeds, and Graham fails with a 13, and
Hilda
Shu
definitely
succeeds
failed.
with a 19, and Hilda failed with, what did Hilda get again?
9.
Oh yeah. And Gex succeeds and Crank both succeed. Now, Crank, you're in the perfect position for this. Everything goes topsy-turvy. Your stomach suddenly says, nope. Your inner ear starts screaming at you. You're all just like, what? All these stones fall up off the floor, just up past you as you're all like, what? As the gravity in the immediate area just reverses. You are all, now the good news is in the narrow area, you're not going to fall very far. So if you failed your save, you can't brace yourself to slow down or grab onto something to stay where you were. Everyone is going to be falling upwards, but it's not very far unless you are in that room itself. So Talithar is in the room that goes up a good 30 feet. So that's going to hurt Talithar a little bit. But everybody else, Balin, did you succeed? I didn't notice.
Yes, I did. I got a 17. I think you said that.
All right, so you grab the wall. Now you're still going to end up on the ceiling. It's like he just took this dungeon and flipped it upside down. So you're going to end up there somewhere unless you're like spider climbing or something. But this save lets you do so without damage. Talithar, however, just goes and bounces against the ceiling. I'm not going to do my increased fall damage, although it would be delicious. But I am gonna add an extra bit for the spiky general kind of stone ceiling with like stalagmites and jagged rocks. It's considered difficult terrain.
Is Talithar the only other one in the room with me falling that high?
Gex would, but he's very well wedged. In fact, I would argue that Gex and Shu, because they both passed, are so wedged in their zones, you're now considered up on the ceiling. Everything's flipped. And you're perched there until you choose to come down. Which would take
Is there any visual?
I would be able to cast like levitate fast enough to help out Talithar or anything. Or
unfortunately,
if that would take too long,
it's going to take too long, and Talithar's already fallen, taking 14 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the ceiling. Now floor. Everyone else takes a few seconds. Balin, you've managed to like grab the stone wall next to you and slide, so you're still on the ceiling. You made your way up there, but you don't take damage in doing so. Everybody else takes a few seconds to reorient themselves inside that chasm. Hilda and Graham, who both failed at the top, you fall, taking some damage to the top of the hallway at the top, because it even extends up to there. Your sense of like up and down is totally just pivoted. So you're going to take a little bit of damage. Ooh, that's going to be 8 points of bludgeoning damage for Graham and 8 points of bludgeoning damage for Hilda as well. Anybody else who outright failed? I don't think so. I think everybody else is good.
I did.
Oh, Frizzle failed bad. So you're going to take the full points here, which is 9 points of bludgeoning damage for Frizzle. Been a rough couple of rounds for the Frizz.
Oh no.
Yeah, yep.
So until further notice, You are all under the effects of reverse gravity. The floor is the ceiling, and it's jagged, rocky terrain. The beholder hovers there, looking up at you all. And it begins to move backwards. Roll initiative. I should write this down.
I got a 16.
For Balin, 16. Who's that for, Gordon?
That's for Rook.
Rook with a 13? Is that it? No, he's got to have more than that.
No, it's rolled a +5, right? 8 + 5.
All right. Nice. All right, Gex. Oh, I don't have you on my list here. So Gex is at a 16. Okay.
Halathar has the Sentinel Shield, so he rolls initiative with advantage.
Nice.
So he's going to just roll twice.
I should probably do this the way they do online with a lot of like starting at 20 and count backwards, but I'm just going to be random. Talithar got what?
Halathar got 14.
14. Okay. Isold?
10.
All right. Jalen. Nobody roll for Jalen. I'll roll for Jalen. Oh, no. Yeah, I'll roll for Jalen. Canes. There we go. Cranky. You're muted, Steve. Okay. 14. Nice. Elias, I'll roll for... Oh, sorry, I didn't say. Elias is knew things were going to happen. Elias knew it. Rolled a 19. Also, retroactively, though, I'll roll for those two to... Also, Elias knew the ceiling was coming and began standing on their hands before it even happened with a 19, so they're fine. However, Jalen ended up, fortunately, not taking much damage, but a little bit of damage there with only 5 hit points from the fall up to the top of the roof of that stairs. All right, and Frizzle for initiative.
6.
6. All right, the Frizz is having a rough day. Graham? Anybody catch it? Oh, Graham is 4.
Graham, 4. Yeah.
Oh, and Hilda?
20.
Damn.
So I guess Graham must have really been knocked up by that fall.
Yep. Hilda's on the roof and like picks herself up. You're on the flat floor, so you can... so for this particular instance, because we're all lined up, we're going to stay in the marching order. But going forward, after we're out of marching, this little pincer thing you got going on here, or little lineup, then we can spread out and we'll go back to regular initiative. Talithar is picking themselves up. You were prone. Gex and Shu have been basically holding. Is there anything you want to do as you see this beholder laughing and begin to float
I actually have a question.
Cavern? Sure.
All these random corpses in his lair, are those floating on the ceiling too
Oh,
now?
yeah, that's so true. All the bodies just... It's raining men. Literally.
Hallelujah.
It is just... It is nightmare fuel. It's the corpses and a bunch of this garbage is all falling upwards. It appears that most of this room has been affected by this scroll.
So we can actually see kind of a clear line of where it stops, where things aren't flying to the ceiling.
Yeah, that's fair. It's gross though. The bodies are snapping on impact, and just some of them are pretty ripe. Been there a while, starting to burst open like overripe fruit. It's real nasty.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that. Thank you for that nightmare fuel. Appreciate you reminding me. The beholder dodges a few of these, gets bumped by a few things, and it's still laughing. Shu and Gex, what do you want to do?
Go ahead, Doug.
Well, I rolled a 9, but if I can jump in, I guess I want to identify where I can, like, where I need to go to not be upside down. I could just brace here, but I think my stealth will be below. I just sit on the ceiling.
Yeah, if you want to blow stealth, you could acrobatics down or athletics down. safely without falling. You're basically climbing down. Or you could just drop into an athletics.
I'm trying to get out of the anti-gravity zone if possible. How far would I move?
Oh, I see what you mean. Pretty much this. Well,
I don't want to fall all the way to the ceiling before I hit the ground again.
It is a 50-foot radius. So it is the entire room and most of the hallway. As far as you know, the whole world just went. Okay, that's not good.
Okay. So
as far as you know,
yeah. Okay. So it's the whole room. Okay.
The whole space, yeah.
All right. Well, I first looked to see if there's anywhere I could hide after making an attack, because I'm
the floor
I'm a
has
jack-in-the-box
freshly
style
littered bodies and stalagmites and tights that were once stalactites are now stalagmites. Because
sure, okay. I think I'm overcomplicating this.
There's plenty of rooms you can hide.
Situation where I assume I am still hidden, right? I did not break stealth in this kerfuffle. So as long as I can hold this position, I can maybe make a shot. But once you make a shot, then you kind of revealed yourself.
Yeah.
Can I make a trick shot so that I don't reveal my location and I don't have to re-hide? Like shoot off a stalactite and hit them in the back.
I was gonna say, if you've been watching and things are still settling, like some of the bodies that were below and kind of glued to the ground by the ichor are now coming like undone. Like
sure, they haven't completely fallen
not
up
everything's
yet,
fallen up yet.
Stuck.
So if you time it right, the arrow could get through without really revealing. You wouldn't need to do like. So go ahead and roll. I'm gonna say to time it right, you're gonna be at a +2 to its AC.
I'll take it. So I'm going to try and line up a shot where I think I can make a shot without revealing my own position,
make
utilizing my insight fighting and all that. So I'm rolling. That is a bad roll. Should have advantage though because I'm in hit, so I should be able to roll that again.
That's fair.
Unless they're negating my advantage.
Nope.
That's another 7. Cool. 2 7s in a row.
Two 7s. So you peg a freshly bloated corpse as it falls. You know, the shot was perfect.
Really?
It was like lined up at the eye and hit an old man that just landed on the roof.
It's a total of 15 if that matters, but I assume this thing's got like 20 AC, so I don't think it should.
That's not enough. I'm sorry.
No, not surprised.
Second shot? Or just the one?
That's a good point. I do get 2 shots because I'm a ranger, not just a rogue.
And
Thank
you're
you for
high
reminding
level.
me.
Yep.
So 19 and 10. So that first shot, or the first... Do I have advantage on both? Do I have advantage on this shot or not?
Yeah, I would say yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I would like break stealth or not. So pull another arrow. Maybe I even like did the like
taking
quit arrow shots because why not? I'm a little extra. And that would be a 27. Do I have +8?
That is definitely a hit, even with the AC bump. That is a hit.
Yes.
Go ahead and make your roll or your damage.
Yeah, so I'm doing 1d8, and then I'm gonna have to make a little damage macro because I get the 1d8, and then I also got Slayer's Prey, which is 1d6, and then I've got an additional 3d6 from
Gex, you're on deck. This is basically their surprise round, by the way. This is why we're doing that because they were.
So that is 4, 5, 6, 19 damage.
Right. Nice. Okay, so.
Piercing, non-magical, unless you wanted to give me a magic bow.
Fortunately, you just come from the farm, my friend.
Yeah, that's fair.
No. Surprisingly,
I'm just messing.
That doesn't seem to be a problem. Nice.
I know, isn't that weird?
That is weird. All right.
It's so weird.
Yep. Big bad, but you can kill it with a butter knife. All right, so...
I mean, if you want to give them resistance, I'm fine with that. It is a fancy special one.
All right, they take it, and they like... Argh! All right, Steve, what are you doing? On deck, we're going to standard situation after this.
Are you ready?
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Where exactly is the beholder's main asshole eye focused?
Its main eye, I will roll a d12 to see where it's facing right now, but I'm not going to count anything from a... Well, okay, never mind. I'm just going to roll a d6, but it's after 6 o'clock, if that makes any sense, on our map. 6. Okay. So in this particular instance, it thinks the arrow that hit it came from pretty much due north. So its main eye pivots that way, away from you, exposing its back to you, but the other eyes are still busy looking in all the other directions. So it was facing you, and then it just went, "Hey," because of Shu. So it's facing away currently. What do you want to do?
So the eye that can see through his invisibility is facing away, correctly?
Yes.
Directly. So that changes my plan. I will use my speed of movement to close that 30 feet of distance.
You're going to need to do an acrobatics check to land safely 30 feet down.
Okay.
I'm going to say if you land, you won't take any damage because you can kind of like parkour down the wall. But
15 on that.
That's what you needed.
Plus, plus whatever. Acrobatics is plus 12, so call it 27.
Whoa.
I suppose that will do in a pinch. So you're just like running down the wall. Okay, you are on the ceiling now with it's still upside down and like 15 feet above you. It's weird.
So
it's kind of hovering.
He's gonna pull out his daggers, but more as a symbolic thing, and jump and stab, but actually cast inflict wounds.
Oddly enough, I am gonna have to ask you. Hold on. So you go down the wall. That's not gonna cost any movement. It's controlled falling. 5, 10, 15. What's your movement rate?
My movement.
Because you can get within in this square, so there'd be another 5-foot square between you and it. Also, it's 15 feet up. What's your plan to get up there? Oh, I guess you are really tall. You're a Goliath,
Yeah, he's got a movement thing where he can jump far. Where is that? It's been so long.
I really want to make an inappropriate movie about an inappropriate comment about a movie that was made in the 90s, but I'll just leave it there.
Sorry, who's suggesting what?
Are you jumping, sir?
Yeah, he can jump.
All right. Go ahead and roll athletics to make sure you can cover the distance, and I will let you get your stab off if you get a high enough numero.
What am I rolling? Athletics?
Athletics.
So make that a 30. This is where rogues are good.
You're like full on Prince of Persia, like arcing back, kind of get them. All right, you make contact. Boom. Do your thing.
Let me roll for this spell.
Yeah.
I
think you still have to make contact, like actual physically attack.
I didn't like that.
Does he get a sneak attack?
He will. Well,
yeah.
Hold on. What would your stealth be?
The last time I rolled it was like 30.
Stupid. Yeah, it was like 30. I am going to give the beholder advantage to see it coming, but you are a monster for stealth. Oh boy. All right, that is a 17 plus 12 is 29. Right? Yeah. 29. It needed a 30 to see you. You lucky. Go ahead and roll sneak attack. You just
I
backstabbed a beholder that doesn't have a back. That's
just
nuts.
so you know, if this makes a difference narratively, I rolled a 4 initially, but I'm using a point of lucky, and because I have that. So my reroll came up as a 20.
Nice.
which is so 20. That adds up to 26 on that. So then for the damage, it is. Oh my gosh! And there's math because I have to roll so many dice for damage.
All right, while Steve's doing that, Shu, I didn't catch your initiative. Again?
Oh, my initiative was like 9, I think.
Okay,
yeah,
cool,
it was pretty low.
No worries.
Yeah.
All right.
Is Gex about to give them a heart attack because they're super old? Is that what's happening here? I feel like Cos would be very easily coded
Just
as
drops the
a
dagger,
person.
rubs the hand together, and just paddles them. Psst. Induce heart attack.
I think kind of necrotic damage, right? I think so.
It is necrotic damage, actually. All of the damage is necrotic damage, and it's a total of 52.
Oh, wait. Did you just ultimate slap the beholder?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And then,
That's
Gex is
amazing.
thing.
He just goes around slapping people to death.
Yeah.
I'm really
Magic slap, but yeah.
Magic slap. Magic does slap.
So,
All right.
so
How much damage? Don't
52.
Ow.
So as a
Yeah.
bonus action, he can take another stab with a dagger as well.
With your offhand, I will allow that. But you don't get your unless you're dual wielder. You just straight roll like proficiency. That's it. No a dex.
Yeah, so that is the attack. It'll be a 18 on the attack, and
That's a
damage
hit.
is just another 7 damage. It's more of a personal touch, you know.
Yeah.
Just an
Yeah. All right, that's a good opener. You are now dangling off this beholder, and it's bizarre. Okay, so Gex is right up in the mix. Oh, of course, yeah, that's what I assumed you were doing with the dagger. All right, coming up next, we're jumping to the top of the order. Hilda, stuff is happening down there. You hear Gex bellow, I'm assuming. I don't know, after the fact. You definitely hear the beholder. You hear everybody flopping around, picking themselves up. What do you want to do, Hilda? On deck,
Okay.
we have Jalen, I believe. Oh, no, Balin. Balin's after. Oh, no, sorry, Elias, then Balin. Write this down.
So,
Different.
let's see. I am going to make my way all the way down these stairs, I guess.
Yep.
Can I get past?
You can get
Yeah.
basically to where Gex just was. Is kind of the only open spot. Is like, excuse me. You get through.
Okay.
You can now see the room, and you're walking on the ceiling, which is weird. And you can see hanging upside down. The beholder's right side up, but Gex is dangling upside down down towards you. But it's up. It's weird. And all the bodies and sleuths are just settling. What do you want to do?
All right. See here. I remember someone mentioning they may need healing.
Yeah,
I look
Balin's
to the side?
real rough and is not too far away from you, just right next to you, actually.
Okay. All right. I think I will do a lay on hands.
Nice. How many hit points you want to dump in?
Say, how does 20 sound like a good amount?
Oh, that would bring me close to max. Yeah, because using the potions from earlier with your aura got me to about halfway. So
Okay. So,
All right, you heal for 20 hit points as Hilda. Big heals. Nice. Do you want to do anything else? Do you have a bonus action?
Hilda, I appreciate it.
all right. Bonus action. Let's see. What can I still do? Dun, dun, dun.
Nice. All right, coming up next, we
I
got.
am going
Oh,
to.
sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Probably touch my weapon, cast magic weapon
Nice.
onto my, maybe just my axe. just out of my hands for now.
Nice. All right. So your battle axe, you run your hand on it, and it begins to glow with a slight aura. Very cool. You are charged up and ready to rock. Elias is muttering to himself, and then those who are closest to Elias can hear him muttering. He was right. I should have probably. Okay. And goes ahead and I'm gonna say. I don't actually have Elias's stats here, so I'm just going to assume what they can cast. So they're going to make their way down in... I grabbed the wrong being. Sorry.
So we do know what Elias, like, he told us kind of what he would try to do.
Oh, what was that?
He would try to cast Suggestion to the Beholder and suggest for the Beholder to go, for like
look up and say "ah"
for like 8 minutes or something like that. Yeah,
8 hours, I think.
8 hours. Like
You need to meditate. You need to go.
Like, no,
and
just
think
keep
about
its
what you
mouth
did.
open. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Elias
It's
is
like
going to
God.
give that a try. Elias goes down there, looks towards the Beholder, braces themselves, and
his
everything's
stats
kind
are-
of topsy-turvy. Go ahead, what?
Oh, sorry. I thought it was the stats. Go ahead. Sorry.
And in that instant, the Beholder gets a save.
Potent.
Yeah. So he's gonna swap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's gonna
All
give him
right.
the saving throw.
Ah, that's right. Portent dice. Which dice?
Yes.
So
I'm just-
roll 2d20s.
Well, okay. Let's see. What did he roll?
I believe he rolled a 3. His
Yeah.
one remaining important dice was a 3. He was going to use it on the save.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
All
right.
right. Then the D suite turns into a 3. And the Beholder fails. And the mouth, just like in the picture, the mouth, which was relatively small compared to the large eye, and then the gums begin to recede and the whole mouth begins to extend open, just like the image that you see. And it goes from
It's a
this
Ghibli
small
mouth.
guy into this massive yawning mouth, and it's just like the eye rolls back irritated, and it's like,
It's Cicero.
all right, he's saying aw. Well done, Elias. Elias immediately needs to do a Constitution saving throw. Somebody want to roll for him, or should I roll?
I can roll.
I think Steve just did.
It was a 6.
Yeah, okay.
That's a fail. Elias, you all
He's
turn
got
back.
the bonus, doesn't he? I don't know
He's
what the
used.
DC is.
The last of the potent dice.
Yeah, it already is important.
So, Elias disappears. And you all turn to congratulate them. And just, they're gone. And you're all just like... And Shu in particular gets the shiver up your spine. Second, like something strange pass by. All right, coming up next on deck, we've got Balin, followed by Talith, like all the people going 14 apparently. Balin, Talithar, Cranky. What do you want to do?
All right, and Gex already had his turn, right?
Gex did, yeah. Stabinated.
But your other idea was a great idea.
Whose other idea?
The idea that you didn't have time to do it before, but
I don't remember what that was. I'm sorry.
it was the spell you were trying to cast.
In the hallway?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I'm not sure how that would work in here. I mean, I was thinking I might cast Elemental Bane on this guy. I don't know which would be best. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying to have something ready to go, but I got a lot of options to think about.
I would say Talithar would yell out, "Any way you can get me closer."
Yeah, okay. All right. Haste on Talithar. That's an easy one then.
Nice. All right, and Talithar is right there. So boom, Talithar is hasted. Mark the concentration for yourself, please. I'll just put a green for concentration. And Talithar is hasty. Look, I'm just going to do the lightning bolt symbol for Talithar, just so I remember. All right, that's your action. Do you have any bonus or movement you want to use?
Yeah, I will move. I don't think I have anything.
It is
I can do
difficult
bonus.
terrain, so it's max you can kind of do is about 15, so 3 squares at a time, because the arched ceiling.
So maybe I'll go over here by Shu.
Sure. Yeah. And kind of keep one hand on the wall just in case. All right. Nice. That's your move. And I believe next we're going to go Jalen, followed by Talithar, actually. So Jalen kind of presses their way through the crowd, sees what's going on, readies the blade, and then goes another like 10 feet, just trying to pick their way up and over the rocks. It's slow going, but they get to about there. All right, now I believe it is Talithar's turn. What do you want to do, Tal?
So I'm on. How far away is the beholder from me? Like, from a reach perspective.
It is 15 feet away from you right now, but it's also 15 feet up. So you're going to need an athletics leap to kind of get a swing off at it. But if you get under it and jump, you can hit it.
If I could like get under it with like the bodies or boulders, like things to help leap me up, I could probably do it. Okay.
You still need to reach a certain amount of an athletics roll in order to successfully leap. If you botch it, it's not super high, but you do have to get a certain DC there to jump and be able to stretch up 15 feet.
Okay. Talithar is going to bonus action cast Blinding Smite.
Your blade
and it just starts to like sear white hot, like white brightness as he just runs his hand, and he just readies, and he just with the haste, his movement speed is doubled, and he is just gonna rush it and just try to jump up and just stab him from beneath.
All right, go ahead and make your attack roll. As you, athletics first. You see Gex. You see Rook dangling off the bottom of this.
Yeah.
Actually, you don't. You see this. No, because Rook is invisible, aka Gex. Yeah, this is so confusing. I thought I was confusing when I was doing the doppelganger thing back in episode 5.
No,
now we're doing it again.
His invisibility would go away once he attacked.
Oh,
right?
That's true. So you see Rook. Disguise self does not disappear, though. So you see Rook dangling from the back of this beholder.
Okay. 20... 22!
22 on your athletics?
Yes.
That is enough. As you get a good brace off of... it's almost like in death, the body that you step off of is your Rook's old pal... Angel's corpse, and you get off the knee and just. All right, you get high enough. Take your swing.
Okay. Dragon Slayer plus 11. And I am going to use my divine action. Plus
I'm not
10.
sure what that is. Oh, nice. So what's the total is?
27.
27 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. I'm going to also use a second level spell slot for Divine Smite.
As a paladin, are you? Yeah, of course. Of course you will. 100%.
So
go ahead.
Okay.
Make it a dent. Make it a dent.
So that's 3d8 for the blinding smite plus 3d8 for the second level, so that's 6d8 plus
Dropping a fireball on this thing.
2d8,
Sword form.
8d8 plus 9. Okay.
The numbers keep rolling.
Why rolling at the table is so good, because you
49
imagine a
damage.
mitt full of dice. Oh, nice. That's a lot of
And-
damage.
It needs to do a Constitution saving throw or be blinded.
Alrighty.
DC is 16.
Okay, so it didn't bother before, but I will say that is a Constitution. That is
Constitution.
only going to be a 13, so that would be a fail. Except it burns a legendary action, or a legendary resistance. Succeed. So 2 of its eyes cloud over for a moment with the blinding slash, and it blinks its eyes, and you can see the crust just fall away. It's still, you may have impaired some of its eyes, but you did not impair all of them.
You can't
You can
blind me
still
through
see.
these cataracts.
I'm already blind. Not
I
glaucoma.
didn't even see the flash of light.
Exactly. So it was a good hit, and it would have failed, but it chose to succeed. But I will mark down it has used one of its legendary resistances.
It
Use
chose
one
to succeed.
legendary resistance. Okay. I think I have one more action because of haste, but I don't have I don't think I can just jump again.
You could try to grab on as a grapple if you want to, as a bonus action.
Sure. Yeah.
I would allow that.
As the action. Yeah, I'll do that.
Double jump.
So
This is also
I'm
like
stabbing it and grabbing it then.
Stab
big
it,
final
yes.
fight.
Stabbing
I
and
can
grabbing it.
definitely picture you just jumping and then like slash before you hit the ground if you want
Oh
to do
yeah,
it like that.
yeah. You could
That
do
would
an
not be
anime
unreasonable.
style.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I would do that. I would do the double
Okay.
slash.
Slash again, then. Go for it.
'Cause that's what I was trying to do. Be fair. Okay.
I love that you can pull this off in plate mail. Like, it's impressive that
He's a strong guy.
Gex managed to pull this off. But this half elf just plate mail basketball dunked.
All right, that was a 25 to
He's
hit.
used magical enhancement.
Yeah. Just with haste. Just huge. All right,
Yeah,
that's a
from
hit.
the-
Go ahead and roll your damage.
He's also going to divine smite again.
What? Yeah, of course.
8 plus. Sorry, I'm just pulling up the plus because I'm not used to his bonuses since he has frost giant might. 36 damage.
All right. This is starting
49
to
and
add-
36. Yo.
It's definitely starting to add up pretty quickly. This beholder is not a pleased thing. It is like, ah! And you clang back down onto the ceiling, and it looks, 2 of its eye stalks are blinking kind of blindly in the wrong direction, but a bunch of the others are looking at you, Talithar, and it's like, ah, yeah. And then those eye stalks go, kind of look towards its own belly, and Gex, where you're dangling and holding on to an eye stalk and your dagger embedded in this thing, like 2 or 3 eye stalks kind of turn around and look towards you, and it goes, good. We have much to talk about.
Actually, it's going ah.
Yeah. Ah, God. We have much to talk about. I will be enunciating better than the beholder is, just for narrative purposes. All right. Okay. So it sees you, Rook Gex, because of all this. Coming up next, we Hey Elf. Cranky. On deck, Rook. The real Rook. Would the real Rook Shady please stand up?
Yeah, I mean, the bear's only purpose is to attack things, so that's what he's going to do.
What is the bear's movement? Because that's a
40.
long way of difficult terrain.
40.
So it can move 20 feet with the difficult terrain. So 5, 10, 15, 20. So with its regular movement, it can get to here. You will either need to have some special ability to get further, or spend your action to dash.
Yeah, he's got some movement ability. Let me just remember what the hell it is. Oh, just fast movement. So, but I think that's already accounted for. So
You could definitely run up at this thing
Barbarians.
and get under it for next time. But unfortunately, you're not going to be able to attack this round.
no, he'll just get as close as he can. That's about it.
All right. Gets kind of in behind, ready to catch Rook Gex. All right, coming up to next, Rook, the real Rook.
Mhm.
Okay. Rook is stealth, right? So
Yeah, and pretty much towards the back of the pack, too.
so he's gonna kind of come in and see what's going on while he's stealthed. I don't know if he sees Gex dangling off of the beholder.
He sees
but-
himself hanging off of the beholder. It's weird.
Yes, kind of probably assumes it's Gex. And
I'm going to roll for
he's-
post-traumatic stress syndrome right now because you had that whole doppelganger situation. I'm not joking. Wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay.
It won't be debilitating too much, but it'll definitely be an effect if you fail. It's not super high DC.
Good thing a friend gave us advantage. Hold on.
Yay! For wisdom saving throw.
The real benefit of Beacon of Hope is its effect to counter PTSD.
That makes sense. That's what it's designed for, right? Paladins, they go through a lot of... Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, yeah.
I guess.
24
Bill is not
is
just a great medical doctor, but a great psychologist as well.
Oh, yeah. It's true. That medical school, you're
It's a
getting an
true
honorary
calling all
degree.
along.
If you survive, you're going to get the honorary degree from U of T. I'm just saying. All right.
I can finally tell my parents I'm a doctor.
This is what is going through Hilda's head as this fight is happening. All right, Rook, you're fine. You shake your head. You're like, later. You've been through so much. This is just another thing on the pile. All right, what do you want to do?
He is going to line up a shot. And hit the boulder.
This thing is looking pretty rough.
Okay, he's going to.
It's been damaged. It's definitely hurting.
Yeah, he's going to act sharpshooter, and he's going to go for it.
Go for it.
All right, so he rolls with advantage. Wow, nat 20.
Oh, the Gordon
20.
struck again. It is on. Go ahead and roll your damage. Oh my gosh. Between Gex, Talithar, and Rook all laying into this thing? God. Okay. And the whole thing is like,
Okay.
Do any of us do right?
I just need to really quickly double check level 11 sneak attack. Is it like plus 66? Okay. So 66 plus 1d6 is 7d6 times 2 is 14d6 plus 10 plus 6.
good thing I've been saving up all them legendary actions.
Keep saving it.
67.
67 points of damage. Wait, that didn't quite beat what Gex laid down, but it was close.
It did.
I thought-
He had 50.
That's right.
Ooh.
I think you may have just got top damage of this this fight so far. 67, dear God.
Well, I mean, Talithar got 2 hits for 85 or something like that.
That's true. Oh my god. All right, this thing is the arrows just tear right through in a few places, just and there's the thing just and several of the eye stalks spin around and lock onto the real rook and are just like okay, couple things happen. First of all, it is now the beholder's turn.
Did both
First.
of Bella's characters go?
Isolde is at 10. We're at 12 right now. Isolde is at 10, and then Frizzle's at 6. So unfortunately,
6.
Bella's hanging out for a little bit longer, and Shu is at 9. So, but right now, it is beholder time. So a couple things happen. Number one, I'm gonna get Rook. You're going to need to do I believe it is a dexterity saving throw, as one of the eyes locks onto you. Strength saving throw. You are close to Hilda, so you get a +4.
Okay.
Always keep a paladin within 10 feet.
Yeah. Because he's not really strengthy. You 14.
14. That includes the +4?
That includes the +4.
That is a fail. The kind of yellowish ray bands of just barely visible translucent light wrap around the real Rook, and you go. You've seen this throw your paladin friend across the room before, as the telekinetic ray grabs onto you and hefts you 30 feet. So 5, 10, 15, 20. The squares are weird. 30 feet. It almost like right at it. And in fact, it goes, just for flavor, it gets it right up to its mouth, where it is then going to try to bite you, because it's open. But I'm going to say it can't bite you, but its tongue manages to kind of soft palate you in next to his teeth. It doesn't do any damage, but you are restrained and in its mouth. And it says, "Fine, I'll sort it out. I'll sort it out when I can. Let's go." Okay, that is one of its moves. And it tried to bite you. That'll be the second move. For its third move, it's just going to for its actual movement, it is just going to go 5, 10, 15, dragging Gexrook and Rook with it to hover over the pit that's at the very back of the room. It goes over there, and from your perspective, it's up on the ceiling. Well, you're up on the ceiling, but you're looking up to the floor, which is the ceiling for you. And it then stops flying and falls down the pit, just into the black in the next layer. For your perspective, up, as you're all just staring there, looking up at the floor, wondering how you can get to chase this creature. You're out of range for its, I'm going to say Cranky. Do an athletics check for me.
Is it what kind of saving throw is this?
Athletics, just an ability check.
Athletics ability check.
Does Cranky have any kind of reach?
Yeah, he's got.
Bugbears
very
do,
much
I think.
reach.
Okay, so I
Yeah, I
will
was just
allow
about to
Cranky
say.
to get a opportunity to attack off on this thing as it moves out of your range.
Well, he also gets because of some whatever ability is, he gets an opportunity attack anytime anything comes within his reach, no matter what.
You got that polearm master thing,
Yeah.
right?
That's what it is, yeah.
Well, that regardless, this thing is leaving, so you can go ahead and get your AA attack off if you'd like.
Yeah, because of course.
As this beholder is about to
I got a
move beyond
quick question.
reach.
What's the diameter of this hole?
The hole, it's about 20 by 20, 15. Well, it's about 12 by 12. Kind of squarish hole descending into the floor, but for you guys, it's the ceiling.
Okay.
12 by 12, 10 by 10. Might not be exact as what's on the map, but that's close enough.
So, 24 is the roll
That
plus damage and oh god, I can't remember how to do his damage calculation.
And how big is the beholder? Is it like a 10 by 10 creature?
It's about 10 by 10, a little bit less than that. It is considered a large creature, but it's kind of on the big size for a large. If that makes any sense. In the same sense that Goliath is big for medium.
Okay.
It's a big boy.
So
it's been around for a while.
If let's say I could place like a 5 foot by 5 foot stone obstruction in the middle of this hole, maybe it wouldn't be able to leave.
True. But it is already, it's not trying to descend slowly. It is literally choosing to fall as soon as it gets over this.
I wouldn't be able to beat it in time.
I don't think so. But you may have the opportunity to use your stone shaping soon. But unfortunately, it's on its turn, so it just kind of... It's very fast. Unless you have something that allows you to cast as a reaction.
I think just that warcaster thing, but I don't think that would apply in this scenario, right?
Not in this case, unfortunately.
No. For visualizing sake, because you've been saying like up and down and ceiling and floor kind of interchangeably. Is it going deeper or is it going
It's going
the
deeper
surface?
into the earth, away from the surface. But for your perspective, it's
so the
Escher
reverse
style on the
gravity does
ceiling.
not extend. So the reverse gravity doesn't extend to the hole.
It kind of topped out around there, yeah. Like this whole room.
Because otherwise,
Oh, that's true. Well, it's a
they're
flying
not immune
creature.
to their own reverse gravity, right? But then
That's
they're
true.
not falling, right?
That's true. That's true. But it is going in the hole with its movement. So
right, which would take movement as opposed to falling, which is free.
yeah, that's fair. So it is a little bit slower than that. But yeah, it's basically descending or ascending away from you as you're speaking. So it's probably just below the lip rather than being significantly. But anyway, narratively speaking, we're going to see what happens. 23 damage. Oh, that is a hurting beholder. Oh my god. All right. Wow. Okay. This is not your average bear beholder, by the way. It is an oldie and a biggie. But yikes. So as the beholder disappears into the black, you can hear its guttural. And you know that it's got two of your companions as it moves into this hole beyond your immediate space. You all take a second and begin to run down plans of how to catch up, what to do, where did it go, how can you track this thing. And those plans are going to have to wait a moment, as we're going to take a little break. We're going to come back in, what do people need, 10 minutes? 5 minutes? Let's do 10 minutes. We'll be back in 10 minutes, and we'll see what lies beneath the beholder's lair in just a couple minutes. Thanks, everybody. And yeah, we'll turn everything off for a few minutes, and then we'll come back. See you in 10. All right, we are coming back. Some table talk, some fleeing beholder. One almost skipped round. Don't worry, Bella. I see you. Thank you for reminding me. We'll dive in. Come on back, everybody. All right, so we have the beholder has just disappeared into the hole of a second layer. Rook, who has been dangling in the mouth of the beholder, and other Rook, aka Gex, is also disappeared with it. But Rook alone knows exactly what's down here. The beholder's hunting ground lies beneath. As the room clears and the beholder falls out of view, it pivots its massive eyeball, the big one, facing downwards, and gravity in that cone acts as normal, and it plummets out of sight down this hole. It is now, that was the beholder's turn, and it is now Isolde, followed by Shu, followed by Frizzle, then Graham. So, Isolde, what do you want to do?
Okay, so I'm going to run my 30 feet. I know it's treacherous terrain, but I have a ring of free movement.
Oh, so that's awesome.
So that does not impact me at all.
So you get to about even with Cranky down there.
Yeah,
Just
and then
10 feet away
I'm
from
going
the
to
thing.
bonus action. Cast Misty Step.
Ooh. I may have spoken too soon. Maybe you will catch this thing.
I've also got a question.
And I know exactly where it is, so I know the direction to cast my Misty Step.
All right. That is true.
And I'm gonna go, like, basically swan dive into the hole.
Are you going in the hole? You're going in the hole?
I'm going in the hole.
Nice.
And in my hand, I am clenching 2 gems. A white gem, and I don't know what color the other gem is that Cranky Bear had given me in the previous room, but I have his stone as well.
Black.
All right.
The black stone. So I've got a white and a black stone. Hey, nice yin and yang. And I am going to throw them in the direction of the beholder.
Okay, so hold that thought.
Okay.
You close your eyes. You can sense this thing just below the lip falling fast. It's in a pretty much a straight free fall. It's about you rush over. You figure out, oh, it's 30 feet, gotta go, and you bamf in that direction. Using Misty Step, traveling right through solid stone in that direction, just trusting that you'll get just with it or behind it or in front of it. I'm going to get you to do a wisdom check. See how
a wisdom
accurately
save or a wisdom check?
You bamf. I'll
Just
let it be a
straight
save,
wisdom,
sure.
no proficiency?
No, you'd be proficient.
Okay, and would the because we haven't gone 10 rounds, so would the thing still be up
Which one?
from
Oh,
the
yes. The
beacon of hope? Or
Yes, sure. So you have advantage.
so I get that at advantage?
Yeah. The calming presence of Hilda and all your allies.
19 and
You
19
hear-
either way.
You hear the rushing of the blood in your veins as your heart is pumping as you just go tearing across. You were built for this. You bamf, close your eyes, and in that instant, you are in free fall with this beholder, away from the anti-gravity. You are falling in the darkness, your feet scraping against the eye stalks one of the eye stalks pivots and looks up at you in kind of a look of surprise as you are falling. And you look at it, and it almost slows to slow motion as you're falling. You see the ceiling of this cavern rise up and past you. You are now in a wider open cavern. You get a scent of mossiness. You get musty. You smell water. You hear water below. You hear it's very dark down here. But of course, I know you've got. Say it with me now. Night vision, dark vision. Yeah,
dark vision.
Yeah, but so you see gray shapes in the darkness, indicating some platforms or something below as you're falling, and the beholder is facing downwards. It's back to you. Go ahead and throw your stones.
Okay.
If you want, or you can delay. It is facing downwards.
Right.
So that it could fall.
Right.
Actually, you know what? If you want, because you got a 19, you could have chosen to appear behind it or slightly in front of it. Which way would you like to go? And because of your sense
slightly
of it,
in front
you would
of
know
it.
which way it's going. Okay, so you are underneath this thing, eye to eye, with this maw
So then
to maw.
I guess I would throw them up
as you're
and
falling
it's coming
backwards.
down.
Yep. And its massive eye blinks in surprise, and its mouth is held ajar with this massive.
So do I roll an attack? And if so,
You do. It is
I don't
an
think
attack
there's
roll.
any attack modifiers on there. So
It would be a dex.
what kind
It'd be
of
like throwing stones.
Okay, so
This is quite the Hail Mary. I did not expect this. As you plummet backwards, action movie star.
you did not expect the blood hunter with no penalties to movement.
No,
Um
I know what those stones are.
all right. Yes, you do. Okay. So I guess just a
Just
D20
standard
with my
dex save or dex attack,
with dex attack, yeah.
Or
so
either one.
No, I'll do dex. I figure for free falling it might as well. So that's 7 plus whatever. So I'm gonna have to roll this in the dice roller because there is no such roll. That'd be a 26.
All right. The first one of them was black, and one of them was, what was the other one? White. All right.
White.
So the two stones. Do you throw one at a time or both at the same time?
Oh no! I just go. Wah!
Okay. So I'm going to say this is for
It's like
both
I'm
of them.
throwing craps. Like this is a game of high stakes craps.
Yep. And they go flying in there. I'm going to say roll the other d20 then. So count as two separate attacks just to see what happens to the other one. It'd be great if you actually had them.
Nice.
That would be another 26.
Oh, damn. Perfect spiral. You're literally falling backwards into God knows what. So I hope this pans out for you.
Rolling doubles.
As the beholder's eyes, like, ah. Now, there is a slight complication. I'm going to roll. Rook, what is your AC?
My AC is 18.
So you are in the mouth. These rolls will determine if it hits you or goes past you into the mouth.
Are you trying to roll high to beat the AC?
You want me to roll low and miss you.
Okay.
You guys, I cannot buy a hit with my DM dice. I will take a picture of this. This is pathetic.
Oh no. So
The white stone
Sacred
gets a 4. The black stone is a 3.
Oh.
Ouch.
They miss. Rook just moves your head slightly, pushing off the tongue of the beholder, and it goes. And I don't believe they do any damage. And there is a gagging sound. And Isolde, you see that your aim has struck true. You lock eyes. Out of the corner of your eye, as you're plummeting backwards, you can see Gex looking on. What look do you give towards Isolde in this moment, Gex? As you're riding the beholder down.
Definitely because of the aside conversation the two of them had earlier. He kind of smiles and nods. Nice.
And gives one thumbs up and hanging on with the
He has
dagger.
to win his approval from Rook somehow.
You then
and it's go big or go home.
You look over and you see Rook in the mouth that you almost pinged with these two things. Rook, you notice something, and then you look at Isolde as the ground is rushing up behind her in the darkness. Your dark vision picks it out. It's a long drop. It's a good 70 feet or so from the top of the cavern to the bottom.
Can I do any action?
Go ahead and roll initiative just to see how quick you are, to see if you can get a thing off before the bottom of the cavern comes rushing up.
And
I will roll a d20, which is not my forte tonight. And it's just a straight up rollies. Do I beat a 10? Owns. That's an 11, sir. The cavern comes first. I'm not using my enhanced damage of falling rules.
Now, as poignant as this is, and I think it'd be very dramatic, I do want to argue, because of my stupid rules lawyer brain, that Isolde didn't start falling until she got in front of the beholder. So you should subtract 30 feet for the Misty step.
True, but the top of the cavern was 30 feet. Or was 70 feet.
Anyway.
The actual tunnel between was probably the 30 feet there. So you kind of bamped in just at the edge of the cavern roof and then kept falling below. So for you it was 70 feet. Anybody else falling would have been 100.
Right,
also,
just
I still rolled
throwing
trash.
that out there.
No, I appreciate you're trying to keep things on the level. Okay. Isolde, you would take 36 points of bludgeoning damage from the fall. However, it is halved as you hit water. This dark liquid. Now it's a hard fall, and you still do take some damage from that, but you're going to take half of 36. So what is that? That's
18.
18. So you take 18 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the water surface. the beholder pulls out of the dive as Rook and Gex hang on, and it hovers above as it's like still gagging on the stones. This all just happened. Boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
And those stones crack. Okay, so I'm gonna do probably what amounts to the mother of all Constitution saving throws right now. That's a 15. That is not going to do it. I'm going to say the DC is 25 per stone, because this is like the ultimate kidney stone. That is a 20. Still not enough. So it's going to burn 2 more legendary resistances to pass. So it just, only by virtue of being a legendary baddie, vomits forth these dragons as they burst out of their containers. However, I will say that in the process, it is so traumatic that 2 things happen. Number 1, the beholder is effectively stunned from the experience for a certain amount of time. Second, the violent bulging of the outsides of this thing, because they did come to form partly inside this beholder, pushing out against its outer forms. The eye, it's almost like a puffer fish. So I'm going to say Gex and Rook, you're going to need to do dexterity saving throws, as the space around you is suddenly filled with scales. A bitter cold and dribbling acid, as everyone involved is having a bad day. I'm going to make both of the dragons that just bamfed in do a Constitution saving throw as well.
That seems fair.
Because they did not sign up to be... I cannot buy a hit. All right, how'd you do, Gex?
Gex and Gordon got 24. Gex and Rook each got 24.
Gex and Rook, sorry. You okay, 24s. All right, you both bamf off, not bamf, but like get punted off. Like so many people like being kicked by a soccer ball. You ever do a soccer ball on top of another soccer ball and drop them both? And the top one bounces real hard? That's kind of what you guys do as you're shunted away from this thing in extreme haste. You don't take damage, but you're now pinwheeling through the air. I mean,
Gex really wants to hold on, like his life depends on it.
All right, I'm gonna let you do a deck. I'm gonna let you do a. I'm gonna say that you could take that roll as a strength saving throw, but in the effect, you're going to take some bludgeoning damage from all the sudden occupado. All right,
Yeah, that's fine.
all right. So
Like,
I'm.
legit, he has a plan here, and it requires him holding on.
All right. So that was a 24. You said.
Yeah,
Well, it would be different if it's a strength saving throw.
yeah.
Oh,
It would have
right.
it would be a 22 if it's strength. It was a nat 20, so strength would be 22.
Unfortunately, it's the same DC as the other bumps, which is 25. So I don't think you have anything to get you there, do you? If there was only a spare paladin. Where's a paladin when you need them most?
Oh, so even the nat 20 wouldn't have mattered.
They're up top.
I'll let you rollies me for it, because apparently I just love my dice hating me so much. I'm choosing a different dice this time. So actually, no, I'm not going to choose different dice. They hate me so much, I will use that to your advantage. So Steve, roll a d20. Tell me what you get. It's a straight up rollies.
18.
18 on the die.
That better win. Yeah, on the die. That better win.
I got a 15. A 15. The French die. So you win. In the process, though, here's the cost. You're going to be taking bludgeoning damage from the sudden appearance of 2 dragon bodies in the immediate space as everybody just hit checks off of each other. And you're in the middle of that. So you're taking 2d20 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Ooh, now I rolled well. That's going to be 33 points of bludgeoning damage. And one of the eye stalks, you had your dagger jammed in it, and you were grabbing an eye stalk, right? Except to briefly take your hand off to give Izzle the thumbs up.
The dagger was in like the body of it.
Yeah.
And then
the daggers, so the dagger stays in, but the hand that's holding the eye stalk, actually no, reverse that. The dagger slips out, but the hand that's holding the eye stalk is still dangling on, just as you get sandwiched between these two dragons and that bounce off of you and pinwheel down and pull up just above the surface of this water. And they go landing. There's a large body of water beneath, probably about 40 feet by 60 feet below, but there are lips around the edge. It is a room, and it is way down at the bottom of this, and the dragons kind of have to jockey for space and look for that. Meanwhile, Izzle has hit the water. Rook.
How much damage was it, Todd?
You took 33 points of bludgeoning damage as both dragon bodies crunched into you, sandwiching you. All right.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
Meanwhile, Rook,
absorb.
unless you're going to fight to stay on in the same way, your save was to avoid the damage. So you get shunted out of there and go pinwheeling across. You hit a wall. You're going to take... you can do an acrobatics check to reduce the damage if you want to, as you see the wall coming up on you. I'm going to assume everybody else is rushing towards the entrance, and the sudden yelling and roaring sounds down at the bottom of this, in the top room, the well, actually the top.
I'll do an acrobatics check.
Yep, go for it. If you succeed, you can probably avoid taking any damage, but you're still about 40.
Well, I'll roll a d20 and see how. Okay, so 28.
Okay, so you're fine. You don't take any damage from that. And from the falling damage, it will be halved. So 16 points halved. So you're going to take 8 points of bludgeoning damage unless you've got something to stop you from taking falling damage. So that was to lessen the impact as you hit the wall, but then you can basically slide down the wall.
Okay, that's cool. He
Okay,
hasn't been hurt up until this point, so that's fine.
So 8 points of bludgeoning damage as you go at the bottom and just into this tight roll, and you stop right on the edge of this underground water, this very dark liquid below. Well, that was a thing, as the two dragons try to orient themselves, hovering. One of them hovering, the white is hovering, and the black one actually hits the ground pretty hard, not that far from where Rook is, and with a crack, and gives its head a shake, and it's not looking too pleased at that, but it's okay. It's a dragon. It'll be fine. And the beholder is still kind of hovering in the middle with Gex dangling barely blurry-eyed from the middle of the room. Or about 40 feet up. Everybody else who was left behind, what are you doing in this moment? You don't have to go in order, per se.
Well, I'll definitely levitate myself so I can go down the hole.
Nice. So you prepared to do that?
How many of us are left up top?
There's me, there's Graham, there's
I think we see.
Shu.
Yeah, I think we see Shu. I never really defined what gear they have, but I imagine with their piratey background, it's appropriate that they have like a grappling hook. So they like have uncoiled some rope and a grappling hook, and they're still like wedged on the reversed gravity ceiling, right?
Yeah.
So they sort of are more throwing it like sideways to like something on ceiling.
That's going to be a real hard
to save themselves movement, and then unclipping it, and they're like Spider-Manning their way over effectively. They swing down and then unhitch, throw back up so that they can climb up the hole, which is the dam.
Nice. At this point, Graham and Frizzle finally make their way into the room.
Just
all right,
full swashbuckle pirate mode. Let's go.
Absolutely. So you make your way across the room in true pirate fashion. It does take most of your turn to get there, like your movement and your action to get there, but you get up pretty much next to the well at this point. I'm going to call it the well, leading into the next layer down. Frizzle and Graham finally make their way out of that entrance tunnel. What do you want to do, Frizzle, Graham?
So I do have a quick question. Is there like a maximum weight that I can tow with levitate, or is that based on my strength?
I believe
score?
it's 500 pounds.
Okay, because I got rope on me too. I could like lay out a rope. Everybody could grab on, and I can like kind of pull us all down with my levitate.
Yep.
So levitate's a weird spell, right? Like you're levitating an object, and then if that object is you and you're holding on to someone else, you still need to be strong enough to hold them, right? Like that's
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm a wizard.
But you can
with
hand wave as
strength,
much as you want as
so-
a GM.
He's a beefy wizard, though.
Don't.
All right. So Balin's getting ready to do that. Frizzle, you want to be doing anything?
I think she would just be trying to get to the group, and if possible, she would grab onto the rope and levitate with him down.
Sure thing. I'm gonna get Graham and Frizzle because you're bringing up the rear there. You get to do a perception check for me. Everybody else is a little bit occupado.
Okay.
Whoops.
Perception.
I'm using the wrong character.
Can Talithar do a perception check? He's just kind of.
He's pretty far away from where they entered. That's why, because this is something they,
Oh,
they may or may
When
not
they were
notice right near
I
the
mean,
entrance.
for Frizzle.
For Frizzle,
Got it.
16. Okay. That's not bad. 8 for Graham. Graham, you don't see. Graham, you don't see.
Graham's still a little knocked up by the gravity change, you know?
Yeah, Graham's like, weird. I'm on the ceiling. Frizzle, you pick up just barely a slight ghost-like shimmer just next to the entrance that looks a little bit like Elias. Just for a moment, and it appears like Elias standing there like, and then is gone. It's just this super brief, like, it was weird. And what do you want to do with that?
I'm gonna go over. Actually, I will about face and be like, nope.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go over and try to see if I can help them.
You
maybe?
see,
if it's possible.
I don't know that it's possible, but you get the impression that Elias, who's facing the stone wall, is having a conversation, but is very animated and mostly see-through as they're busy. And and Elias turns for a second, and again, you're only getting little wisps of this, as though mostly translucent, or as though viewing them through a heavy cloud or fog. And Elias turns to Frizzle, notices you noticing them, and then kind of looks back and forth between Frizzle and whatever and this wall. And do you want to look towards the wall, or do you want to look at Elias? It appears he's talking to someone or something.
I'm going to do I still have an action? Or
Sure.
no? This would
Yeah.
be my action.
This could be your action, yeah.
I will look at the wall with my hands out,
Okay.
getting ready if I need to use my burning hands. If there's something that
All right. So you
seems
turn and look towards the wall this time.
tacky.
Elias, you kind of look past Elias, and Elias is doing something towards you, which you kind of missed because you chose to look at the wall, which is fine. It's just a choice. You're noticing different things. Behind Elias, there's just the shape of the stone for a moment. And at the very last second, you're looking, you squint your eyes, and they kind of flash with that red stone that is what they're made of. A little flicker. You concentrate, being a magic user yourself. Concentrate, and in the last second, in front of the stone, you see this deep hooded face, bone white, skeletal shape, just hiding amongst the wall, staring at Elias. It hasn't seemed to notice you, and it motions and begins to move away. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna burning hands it.
Nice. This blast of flame. Elias. And the figure retreats into the stone. Everyone else is like, what? What was that? Suddenly there's fireworks going on the far side of the room. You seem to have... You don't know if it was going to move anyway or if you've managed to scare it away, but it has pulled away. And Elias turns back to you and blinks and mutters something. And as the entity leaves, Elias begins to fade back into this plane of existence. Thank you, sir. Think. Okay. Let's go. And Elias is now in front of you. You've pulled them back into this plane and managed to change where they might have ended up. But we'll see what happens later. Okay, so you now have Elias back, and he comes stumbling along with Frizzle towards the levitating, grappling hooked situation. Can I get an Arcana check from Balin? Or a spell attack, whichever one is higher.
Well, I rolled a 1 on my Arcana check.
That's not good.
But,
so
spell attack would be a better bonus, but it's still a 1.
Okay, so there's a... what are you choosing to levitate here?
I mean, myself, ideally.
Okay. So...
Because I was 16 strength, like I can pull more than I can levitate.
So you grab the ropes, you're ready to do that, and you cast levitate on yourself. You're like, okay, gravity mean nothing to me. I levitate things. And you're standing next to or over you can't move sideways with levitate, so are you choosing to stand directly under the well, or are you going to try to be next to it? What's the plan?
I think the idea is to be underneath it, yeah, so that when I cast levitate, I can drop down into it.
Sure thing. So in that moment, boom, gravity means nothing to you, but so does reverse gravity. So there's this weird pancakey moment where you push up and everything is reversed. And I'm going to get you to do now you're a dwarf, so you're going to have advantage on this, but Constitution saving throw as you begin pinwheeling. It's just, you're going the direction you want, but the complication is you are having a hard time determining how to maintain things, and you kick off in a weird way, and you're just like, what? It's very much
here's the thing.
Yep.
Right after I rolled that 1, I rolled a 20.
Nice. So you do not vomit. You are built for this. You're spinning like you're basically the very first dwarven dreidel. But you are going. The ropes twist behind you, but you are making your way down up into the well, and everybody else is now tethered to you as they grab onto the ropes, and Graham grabs onto Frizzle, and Elias is the last person. As Frizzle grabs, you basically form a human chain, and everybody goes up/down into the well.
When we can see into the well, and how much of the commotion, let's say, is visible? Do we see the silhouette of dragons? Are they too big for the well?
It's pretty dark down there, even with well, the well is only about 30 feet long, and then it opens up into the cavern below.
Oh, okay.
So all of that madness happened in the cavern below, and that cavern is 70 feet tall. And so you can't see all that much, but you can hear some weird ass shit. It is just... It's pretty bonkers down there, is what I'm telling you, from what you can hear.
Yeah, that's a great point of being able to hear stuff. So I would hear dragons.
You can hear the roar of dragons. Absolutely. 2 of them by the sound of it. It's echoing like crazy. You can hear the beholder essentially regurgitating 2 rapidly expanding dragons, losing half its teeth in the process. Yeah, that's what you hear, but you don't know what it is. You're just like, what? It sounds like a plumbing accident with teeth gone horribly wrong, and 2 elephant-sized things suddenly popping out of your toilet-sized mouth. It is just...
So I don't know...
I can't even imagine.
Or that's wrong. I don't think that she was in on the, like, let's put gems in the thing's stomach and hope that it explodes from the inside plan. But I do think that upon hearing dragons, they, like, remember the gem that they were given. And
Absolutely.
Think, now that's a plan. And so they will actually crack their gem just to, like, have a mount.
Absolutely.
That can fly.
Absolutely.
So they're not taking the levitate. They get to the lip of this and go, oh, okay, yeah, let's do that.
You pull it out, you look at this. I believe you had the brass colored one, right?
I had the blue. I think it was blue.
Oh, right.
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I think it was blue.
Yeah,
yes,
we'll
I had
look
the
it
blue
up.
gem.
All right, so you hold that in your hand, you crack it against the ceiling floor, and very quickly,
come on, little guy.
A dragon appears and takes a second to get oriented, then looks at you. Get up.
All right. We're gonna need to work together here. And Shu does speak Draconic, so they'll be like, take a second to be like, truce. You're cool, we're cool, you're cool. Okay, let's go. Yeah.
We're cool.
Cool.
Who all is on team levitating dwarf torpedo?
Dwarf torpedo. Sorry.
Seriously, who's all riding the dwarf up down into the well?
I had just assumed
Talithar, is that how you're getting up there?
Off.
I guess it depends. Like, did Shu crack the gem?
That kind of happened after. Yeah,
after?
in
then
the room.
Probably, then Talithar probably grabbing the rope.
Yeah, unless you thought of the dragon as well beforehand, like retroactively.
Talithar doesn't actually have a gem anymore.
Oh, right.
He used his.
Yeah, so you're on team ride the dwarf up down into hell. Okay. Cool. Hilda, Elias, Jalen, I don't think Graham's gonna think of a different plan, so it's this big old chain of people. At one point, there's this weird moment where you're all falling, you're being pulled up, and it's getting slower and slower as more weight gets added. So, like, the third person, basically, it almost stops. It's going super slowly, like dangling, like holding a balloon, a dwarven helium balloon. But then this weird thing happens, is that Balin, you cross the threshold of the well where the spell ends. And suddenly, instead of a 500-pound levitate, you are now a whatever your dwarven weight is, and a downward levitating force on top of that, as well as the counterbalancing. So as each person goes through, the balance shifts, and suddenly, so it takes a little while, and like it shouldn't work based on 500 pounds, but as each person crosses that threshold, their weight gets added to the down pull, which is the up pull. And so it gets faster as you, so like at first it's like super slow, and then that's going fast, and then boop, 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 and then whoosh, Graham is the last person to be like, whoa, and then Shu's watching all these people like plummet into the well. And it is now a very fast falling action, which Balin, I'm going to get you to do you want an initiative roll or an arcana check to see how fast you can flip it from pull down to pull up. Unless you got something else up your sleeve or whatever. What do you want to do? You are falling and pulling yourself down.
What do you think is better? Advantage on a -1 or just roll in the straight +6? Any thoughts from...
I think +6 is mathematically more likely to do well, but I'm not sure. I don't know my maths for that.
13
Choices
total
yours.
on the Arcana.
13? All right, I'm going to roll. Let's use the French die.
Aelin's got a combined weight of 287 pounds.
So basically,
Sorry,
you and
I'm probably-
Talithar is all you can really levitate anyway. But you can slow things. You rolled a what?
13 in total.
13. I rolled a wheat, an 8. So, you managed to flip it. So Balin stops falling. And Talithar slows, and everyone else after that, more weight starts dragging you down, but slightly slower, and then more weight and more weight. There are a lot of you, though. There's Frizzle, who's not that heavy. Elias, not that heavy. Hilda's in plate, I think, or in armor. Jalen's pretty heavy, and Graham at the end. So you are all going to fall. However, how I'm going to do this is you are all going to get advantage on your acrobatic check. That's cool. So everybody, Frizzle, Elias, Hilda, Jalen, Graham, and Talithar, and Balin, I need an acrobatics check as you're all kind of coming in hot. It's like a parachute that didn't quite open.
Oof.
What if I drop the rope like 10 feet before I hit the ground?
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Like they're all slowed
that'll
down
help
as much
you.
as they can be slowed down, but if I'm not holding the rope, at least I can break, right?
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I'll count that as
10
your...
feet before the ground, like at that point, it's not like I can slow them down anymore, right?
It's true.
Is it acrobatics or can we use athletics?
This is straight acrobatics to see how well you can take the hit when you hit the ground or water at the bottom.
Okay.
It's so fast, and dark vision is black and white anyway most of the time, so you don't know if you're going to land on water or ground yet, but it's coming up fast. It's slightly weird timing. All right, Gordon. Talithar, how'd you do? 20. All right, you will take half damage. Graham and Hilda. Graham fails. Hilda succeeds barely with a 14.
Ooh.
Frizzle fails hard with a 4. Is anybody else in that list? Elias and Jalen, I'll roll for them. That's a pass and a fail. So Elias succeeds, and Jalen fails. All right, so we're taking half damage on 100 feet worth of falling. But I'm going to say the first 30 didn't count again, just because, weirdness. All right. That is 20 points of bludgeoning damage for those who did not succeed, and 10,
Oh my God, is Graham dead?
10 for those that did. Did Graham just die?
No,
Oh.
but he's very close to dying.
Oh. All right. Next point of order. You hit, and you hit hard, but you hit. Let's just say those who succeed. Okay, this is a tough one. It's gonna be rollies. High or low. Above 10, you hit the water. Below 10, you hit the land. The damage is already dealt. So just roll a straight d20, everybody who's falling right now. Oh, did Cranky... What's Cranky doing? Is he in this pile?
If he wasn't attached to the rope, he would have just jumped.
And grabbed the well and started climbing?
No, just jump.
Sorry.
The thing is that gravity's going not into the well.
So you're just
right?
being on the ceiling, jumping at something that's 30 feet in the air.
Oh, so yeah,
That's
whatever he had to do. I guess he would be
so he's
climbing.
part of this then. Go ahead and and roll your acrobatics.
So wait, is above a 20? I mean, above a 10 in the water?
Above a 10 is going to be. Okay, I'm gonna say below 10 is water. I think I said last time above 10 was water. I'm gonna say below 10 is the water, above 10 is the ground. Ooh, okay. Balin hits the ground. Talithar clanks against the ground. Cranky hits the ground. Oh, Hilda hits the
I
water.
hit the water.
Graham hits the ground. That tracks. Benefit is.
Yeah, I guess he takes more damage than I did. I
Yeah,
guess, the water.
exactly. All right. So, there's a moment of reorientation as everybody's like, oh, this is weird. You managed to put your mind in order. Those of you who land on the ground, pick yourselves up. You see the roaring dragons. The beholder is... It's hard to see where the beholder is in this particular moment. It's a big, tall place. You are all in a room. I guess it's a slightly irregular shaped room. It's not quite as big as I said it was before. But I will place you just so you know what you're coming up on. Izzle, did you hit the water? No. Oh, yeah, you hit the water. So you're in the water. Boom.
No.
I don't know if you can see the new map yet. You did. You fell.
I thought if it was above a 10, it
Rebby,
was.
you already hit the water.
You already
Yeah,
hit
that's
the
for
water.
the other group.
First.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about for Frizzle.
Yeah, for Frizzle, hit the ground, right?
Yeah.
All right, Gex I'll place in a bit because you managed to stay with the thing. Cranky hit the ground. I'm just going to kind of rook. You bounced and hit the ground. This is a tight space for dragons. Anyway, Talithar hit the ground. You're all thumping to the ground in this room. Hilda hit the water. Sorry, I'll put the map on so people can enjoy as I'm dragging minis around. Elias, somebody roll for Elias. I'll roll. Elias hits the water. Jalen hits the water. And Balin, you hit the ground, right?
I believe so, yeah.
All right, I'll put you right in the corner there. It's getting crowded up in here. Styrion is dead. Shu, you're coming in a minute on Dragonback. And Graham, I think, hit the ground, right? All right, that all works. Okay, can everybody see the map?
I can see it. I am in the water.
Very cool. All right, so you all kind of open your eyes in this next layer down. Rook, you know more or less where you are. It's not a good place. You're in the murder grounds beneath, the hunting and playgrounds of this twisted beholder. You can hear its gagging and vomiting, and you see dribbles of bile and such. In this instant, you don't yet see the beholder. But eyes begin to slowly take in this darkened room, most of it filled with water, some edges of land, some of your companions just bobbing up towards the surface. You're all here, except Gex and Shu, which we'll talk about in a moment. There's a roar as Shu and the dragon begin to descend through the cave and hovering at the top. The whole space is very tight. The dragons are actually climbing onto the walls. The white dragon, the black dragon, and now this other dragon that Shu's riding. They're kind of clinging onto the walls, sort of like bats, so as to have enough space and not crush you all. Those of you who landed in the water, you had a bit of a softer landing. That is until Elias pops up, sputtering, looks at Hilda and Isolde, and Jalen's there, and takes a breath. All right. Oh, I guess we finally caught a break. And Jalen's like, yeah, but... and disappears underneath the water.
No.
Black water has claimed Jalen. And I think that's where we're going to stop for the night.
You can never trust water.
Nope. Good.
All right. Well, thanks very much, everybody. And internet, thanks for watching. And Jay, sorry I didn't say earlier. I saw your chat a bit late, but hey, boss, good to see you. So yeah, don't forget to check us out. I think next week, we'll decide whether it's D&D or Shadowrun next week. Probably D&D, right? On the Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll pick up with what will come next week on Tuesday. Hopefully with everybody back on board, and we'll see what happens in this next layer. We do. Anybody got a name suggestion for tonight?
Free Fallen.
Yeah, free
The obvious name.
That's a good
Cataract surgery.
Drop the kids at the pool.
name. Take 2 dragons and call me in the morning.
That's a good one.
Dragon suppository.
Well,
Oh no.
I mean,
that's a different.
Do holders even?
Technically,
Have a.
I mean, it was in its toothy moss, so I'm not sure it was a suppository per
Yeah,
se.
well, I mean, it might be like a sea sponge and only have one.
Hole for everything.
Oh,
the moment you actually described it as something, there was like a metaphor you used that I can't remember, but
that's
would
what
have
VOD is
been
for.
would have been appropriate.
I like that though. Free fallen. That's a pretty good one. I appreciate that. Oh, nice. All right, so we're going to be right back after our credits. Don't forget, people, if you've never done it before, please click the subscribe button, the follow, etc. We appreciate you spending some time with us. Shout out to Tennessee, by the way. For some reason, Tennessee exploded on the podcast. Well, exploded by me, but like 30 people suddenly being like, hey, I appreciate that. So thank you for tuning in if you're from Tennessee. Et aussi, si vous écoutez en français de France, merci et pardonnez-moi, désolé pour mon accent. This is making me miss Carl, who could actually do this justice. But anywho. So we'll be right back with an ad from our sponsor. And thank you for watching.
Ooh, okay, well, that was as good as we could get it.
And now, a word from our sponsor. Take it away.
Well, this week's episode is brought to you by New Oil. Let me start that again. This week's sponsor is New Oil of Olay Special Undead Blend. Are you far too old? Have you been suffering from the extreme weathering of time and excessive evil misdeeds? Perhaps you need to convince a group of adventurers to fall in love with you. Use Oil of Olay's Special Undead Blend, made from the best selection of sacrificed children, virgins, and several varieties of nymph. Our special serum smooths wrinkles, clears cloudy eyes, whitens black teeth, tightens those low, drooping, elongated flaps you used to call earlobes, clears up under-eye bags no matter how many eyes you may have. Alternative uses include foot fungus relief, hair straightener, wart removal, abortion pill, milk substitute, paint protector, hand sanitizer, sex lube for those with next to no stamina, yeast substitute for baking and brewing, candle wax, engine oil, grease remover, and drain cleaner. Buy a 2-pack and get a free 87-section contact lens case. Patent pending, not available in Quebec. Oil of Olay Special Undead Blend.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's necromancy. All right. Thanks, Steve. Good night.